Welcome, welcome. It's Purple City's Burning Chat, episode 6, I believe, Ashley.
I don't even know anymore.
Yes, whatever. It's the city councilman, myself, Bayfield, and Mr. Ashley Hill, residing in... Where are you now?
I live in East London.
East
still.
London, hip.
Yeah.
I live in East Suffolk, less hip.
You're by the seaside. You're like a tax dodger.
That's true. I'm not quite. I wish I was.
Like a tax dodger or someone with immunity.
I might be able to afford a proper microphone setup if that were the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Burning Chat, the show where Ashley and myself dissect just whatever we've noticed this week. It might be topical, it might not. We don't really pay a great deal of attention to the headlines, but occasionally we hit on something that's currently happening.
I think you're selling ourselves short there. We always pick up the local rag.
That's true, but I mean stuff that other people will know about. I mean, this week I think
boring. There's only 2 news headlines in national news.
That's true. I think this week we've got one relevant topic for the week, based on what we've discussed. Yes, I mean it's happening as we speak. Well, let's open with it. yeah. Let's open with it because you seem to be confused as to what it is I'm talking about. I'm talking about the trials and tribulations of Phil Collins' third marriage.
Yeah, I'm just lighting a candle.
I've got this spiced orange one again here, but I don't.
But you never have like a lighter to light.
Well, no, because I don't smoke or anything.
Me neither. But
and we don't go out anymore, so there's no point having a lighter for smoking areas.
You need the sound for Purple City's Burning Chat.
That's true. Burning Chat.
And also because it's nice to have a candle on the go.
It is nice to have a candle.
This one's lemon drizzle cake flavoured.
Bill Clinton. Look at Bill Clinton.
That'll work well on the radio.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so the first topic of the week. Phil Collins' house is currently under siege from his wife.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. I mean, both of us love Phil.
I do love Phil.
Myself, possibly more. I don't know, actually. You might have more Phil Collins records than me.
I've got one on vinyl and another on CD, maybe.
Is it a compilation or an album?
No, it's an album.
Oh, yeah, then you do. I've got one compilation, one album.
All right. Oh.
Although I have to be honest, there's so many, my mum's got so many greatest hits around the house that they've just always been on ad infinitum. But I've got But Seriously on vinyl. And what's the one with the orange, where his face is in orange?
No Jacket Required.
Yeah, No Jacket Required. Yeah, I've got that on CD. But anyway, so Phil's third wife, I believe. They split up they divorced. So he married Oriane Seve in 1999. She's a jewelry designer, apparently. They married in 1999 and divorced in 2008. But they then reunited in 2016. But she has since, whilst they were still together, apparently she started dating a Vegas stripper.
Yeah, he's younger than us.
No, so not the guy she married.
Oh.
The Vegas stripper's younger than us. But then while she was with Phil Collins and the Vegas stripper, she got married in Vegas, of course, where else, to a guy called Thomas Bates.
Yeah, now he's younger than us.
Is he?
Yeah, he's 31.
Whatever, mate, I'm 28.
What?
Is he? I can't believe he's a year younger than us.
Yeah, he's a year younger than us. Yeah.
She's 50-something.
I think she's late 40s. He's like 49.
Big Phil's nearly 70, so...
Yes. One more night.
Big shit.
Sorry.
I mean, he's probably begging for one at his age. Just making it through the night's a win. When you're 75, every day could be your last. He's not that old. I think he's 69.
Awesome.
But yeah, so her and her new husband, who's younger than us, who knew, they won't leave. It's interesting because I found out, I was like, well, how have basically the long and short of it is, they will not leave Phil Collins' house, which he owns, his $30 million Miami beachfront property. They won't leave, and they've hired an armed guard so that they can't be forced out of the house. And I was like, well, where was Phil when all this was happening? Turns out
he was on tour with Genesis, wasn't he?
I didn't know this. Phil's in Sweden rehearsing for a new Genesis tour, or Switzerland. Yeah. One of the... Probably Switzerland. He doesn't like paying tax. I would imagine he's in Switzerland, isn't he? But yeah, so that, Who knew Genesis? Maybe this is all a big marketing thing to let you know that Genesis are back on the road.
No, but they sort of had like that big Phil Collins show last year. Like it was kind of an international thing, but there was a big one in London. I think off the back of that, they announced that they was going to be doing a Genesis tour in 2020.
That was the one that got cancelled early because he fell down the stairs, didn't he?
Yeah.
What lineup of Genesis is it? Is it the good Genesis or the prog rock one with Peter Gabriel that everyone says is the good one but isn't as good?
The one that's alive.
Peter Gabriel's alive. I don't think. I don't think Gabriel's going back there. To be honest,
I'm being facetious. I have no idea. But it is
I think they're all alive. I don't think any of. So
they
anyway, more interesting than who's not dead in Genesis, for fuck's sake. Phil Collins' wife is literally holed up in his house with an armed guard and won't get out.
Well, her argument, her and this Mr. Bates fellow. Not to be confused with the Bates from Psycho.
Norman. Big Norm.
Not Big Norms. It could be related. Anyway, their argument is that from the divorce settlement, she is entitled to $40 million of the property.
It's only valued at 30, so that's not going to work.
Exactly. So it's she wants. So I'm assuming she wants the entire price of the entire cost of the property, or $40 million.
I mean, Phil is worth about 150. I'd be like, I'd just hire a second private army and be like, go roll them out.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd ride for Phil. If I had access to a strap, I'd be on a plane to Tampa. I'd be out there to go. I'd go drop her myself.
Should we start like a vigilante type? GoFundMe vigilante.
Phil's militia. GoFundMe. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I reckon it'd probably work.
GoFundMe rebel. We can call ourselves Genesis.
That's a great idea. Our theme tune could be One More Fight. But yeah, I'm a bit like, it's his house. Like, he literally paid for it. And the divorce, they divorced ages ago. So I'm not quite sure how she'd be entitled to any money. And she went and remarried. So I don't understand. But she since said she can't leave the house because of a spinal problem.
Oh.
Most recently, she got when Phil served her with her papers, she said, I can't leave because I got a bad back.
Well, surely Big Phil with his bad back and everything else has a stand stairlift or something going on.
Well, I think that was kind of one of the things. She was like, I can't leave because I've got a bad back and I need access to specialist equipment. And that probably is Phil's stand stairlift, isn't it, at this stage? I mean, as much as I'm Team Phil, obviously, if someone manages to, like a guerrilla unit, sort of invade a house and keep it on the technicality of a stand stair, it's like winning Vietnam. Because you had a stand stairlift, like, yeah, we were going to napalm them, but they all went up into the trees on a stand stairlift, and we just
really slowly.
Yeah, they just got away really, really slowly, and we just didn't know how.
Half of them got stuck midway up.
Yeah, they had to ring the RAC because the motor went halfway. 3 of the Vietkong have actually got an open lawsuit against Dame Thora Heard.
3 of them are locked in premium baths.
Yeah. We dropped napalm, but one of them just got in a bath with little western doors on it and submerged himself, and he didn't get burnt at all.
They hunted us down on mobility scooters.
We don't know how they did it.
Oh, what a war that would be.
It's like instead of digging punji pits and spider traps like the traditional Viet Cong strategy, you just did the opposite. You just built tiny slopes, just little tiny speed humps in the jungle, and just everyone's like, I can't get over that. I'm gonna have to.
It's too much, mate.
Let's just go pub. We'll have half a mile, and we'll think about it, and we'll come back to it.
You need a more powerful motor than that to get up that hill.
Instead of the Claymore mines that fire all the little ball bearings.
Yeah.
Just Werther's originals in a Claymore fronting. You hit them, just like. Your shins get shredded by high-end travel suites.
Man, that would be painful.
That's what I'm saying. Like, imagine it's like the final insult. It's like
I've been hit with an Everton mint before. It fucking hurt. Is that or a humbug? I'm not sure. But I've like fucking shattered as well. It could put someone's eye out.
Just in the military hospital in the canvas tent, and it just smells of Murray mints. It's like, oh, war is hell.
Well, back to Phil.
I mean, obviously I'm team. The thing is, like, Phil is obviously at this point in his career, he's still popping. Phil's never not popping. Yeah. But he's massively infirm. He's fallen down the stairs enough times now. He's gone down the stairs more times than Little Mo in EastEnders when Big Trevor was living with her.
I never watched EastEnders, but I'm familiar with the scene where she falls down the stairs.
Exactly.
Didn't she fall down the stairs out the front door once?
No, I think that's just one of those YouTube supercuts where they like cut two comedy things together and it looks like it's all one.
This goes well, Benny Hill, yeah.
Or maybe she did, I don't know. Trevor was a mean bastard. But Phil's obviously, not well himself and incapacitated. She's his ex-wife or girlfriend, wife, I don't know legally where they stand at present. But she's lodged a report saying that like he didn't wash for a year and was just like drinking his way around the house stinking, which Phil strenuously denies. But I looked at Phil on the Genesis rehearsals and that, and I was like, he doesn't look like he's like at that level of give up, because to get to that point, you've got to be properly.
Yeah.
And I think she's just spreading the seeds of doubt, sowing the seeds of doubt.
Yeah, because I mean, she was saying, it got to a point where he wouldn't talk to it, like his hygiene had got so bad that he just didn't want to associate with people anymore.
To be honest,
but I mean,
I am at the level where I don't want to associate with people anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, but you still have a wash.
Do I?
I don't know.
I ain't done shit during lockdown, mate. You know that.
That's true. But your beard is looking nicely trimmed today.
It's I've not shaved it in.
No, but you've tidied it up.
I did today. That's what I mean. This is the first time I've shaved it since I had a wet shave for our last radio show in London, which is now 2 months ago. So I was on.
You spruced yourself up for me. That's nice.
Of course I did, Ashley.
Got
to spruce myself up for the city council. You can't turn up looking like a fucking roustabout. You might come and occupy my house and accuse me of stinking of shit or something.
I might say that you're bad at sex. It's one of the accusations as well.
In my case, it's not an accusation. It's a fucking fact.
That's factual. That is correct.
That is a verified fact, and I can quote numerous sources on that one.
One more night. Oh, please don't, Matthew.
Yeah. I don't. Not even 1 more minute, Matthew. Just get out. All right. It's daytime. The tubes have reopened. Go away. Not that I've ever hung around waiting for the tubes to open after a terrible night. I tell you what, I did learn from the Phil Collins. So as it stands, we don't know where we're at. She's still in the house. Phil's served her papers, and she served first, and Phil's counter-served, I believe. He's also strenuously denied all the stuff about him being a smelly old person. But yeah, it's like a stalemate at the moment. But I can't see it, seeing as he paid for everything, and she's literally gone off and married another person before even leaving him. On a legal level, I can't see how he's going to lose that one. And I refuse to believe that the judge presiding over the case isn't a Phil Collins fan.
Hang on, I've just decided to see if there's any absolute breaking news, and I've come across a headline at the Daily Express. I'm not going to read the article; it's just the headline's quite funny. Prince Charles's birthday party hit by Phil Collins' blunder after insensitive song choice.
What song's that? We need to find out.
Okay,
more.
Let's find this out.
He didn't play Dirty Diana. He didn't do a Dirty Diana cover, did he? Or something?
I think he might have done.
Great man.
Prince Charles's birthday party once took an awkward turn when singer Phil Collins chose to sing some insensitive songs about the Prince of Wales was separating with Princess Diana. We know where this is going, don't we?
Is it actually going to this?
What? Possibly. It doesn't look good. I don't know. I don't want to give any spoilers away. I think it's part of the TV show The Crown.
Oh, fuck The Crown. No one's watching The Crown.
That's true. I kind of want to watch The Crown.
Yeah, same here. That's not the point.
It doesn't say what song it is in this article, but
Well, then
I'm sure
you've derailed the entire flow of this discussion and jeopardised the quality of our radio show.
give a poo.
Fair. I tell you what else I did learn from this situation though, whilst doing my research. So when I did the old Google for Phil Collins' House Under Siege type, topics, and I found a paper called the Tampa Bay Times because it's interestingly.
Is his house in Tampa?
Yeah, so it's on the beachfront in Miami. Okay. But obviously Tampa Bay is just down the road, so they report on.
He's in Miami.
Local. Well, it's in Dade County. So I was thinking, right? Trick Daddy's a fucking liability and short of money. Phil Collins should pay Trick Daddy to get a crew and just go take the house back from the armed guards. Because there's four armed guards. I reckon Trick Daddy's got 4 mates and they could go take that.
Mate, and Trick Daddy is desperate to pay his dad off.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean. Because
it's been decades.
He owes his dad money for strip clubs.
It's been a quarter century since Trick Daddy has Trick Daddy's owed his dad money.
I know
that's hard to say. That's like a
that's
a tongue twister in itself.
That's like one of those actors. It's like an actor's warm up thing. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. It's been a quarter century since Trick Daddy paid his daddy's trade. But yeah, just get Trick Daddy involved. I can't see that Trick Daddy can't settle this.
Mate, I think he can sort this out.
And Phil's ex, her previous beau, was a stripper. She might be able to get him some work with Trick Daddy's dad at the strip clubs too. I feel Trick Daddy is the solution to the problem.
Or the cause. I'm not sure.
No, it doesn't say anywhere that Trick Daddy owes Phil money, which would be his involvement. I assume he owes... He might owe Phil money.
I feel like he'd owe Phil money.
I mean, if he can, he will. That's... when it comes to borrowing money that he can't pay back, that's Trick Daddy's motto. If I can borrow it, I will. If I can pay it back, I'll probably leave it.
Gosh, wonder what Trick Daddy's up to nowadays. That's a discussion for another day.
Well, apparently he's racking up massive tabs in his dad's strip clubs.
Yeah, I mean he's been doing that for ages, though.
Yeah, but I assume he's still doing it. Is there anything
new that's happening?
That debt doesn't seem to be going down. That's what I noticed there.
Is it going up though? That's what I'm interested to know. I feel like it's got to that point where it can't go up anymore. And if he tries to borrow anymore, his dad will break his legs or something.
I reckon it's got to that point, like with the Vegas mob, where his dad's not counting upwards, but he can now never pay it off. Like it doesn't matter how many bin bags of money come around, he'll still just owe his dad some money.
Yeah, it's back. It is now interest. This is interest. Thanks for the interest.
But as far as I'm aware, Trick Daddy hasn't done. I saw him on Drink Champs, and he was clean shaven.
Jesus.
It doesn't suit him at all. He really doesn't look right clean shaven. But I'm just checking him out on Spotify to see if he's done any bangers. It looks like
he hasn't.
I mean, he's done a lot of bangers, but I don't know if they're recent.
What he needs is like one of these new age rappers to copy one of his songs. You know, like what Saweetie did with Petey Pablo.
No, I don't know what that is.
She's a rapper who is married to Future Migos. One of them, I don't know.
Okay.
One of these sort of farmyard rappers types.
Farmyard rappers. I don't even know. One of these Bernard Matthews rappers.
One of these Bernard Matthews rappers.
Where have you even got that from?
I don't know. Just it sounds awful. It sounds like a sheep or a lamb. And she's like massive, and sampled a Petey Pablo track. And I can't remember which one it is now. It's his big one.
It's going to have to be Raise Up or Freak a Leak.
Freak a Leak. That's
what a sleazy anthem.
I know. And she's made it like sleazy, but not as sleazy as Petey Pablo, because Petey Pablo's a sleazy man.
I was going to say let's cut into the break with a Phil Collins, but I sort of want to put Freak a Leak on now.
I feel like we got to back our boy.
Let's rep what Petey Pablo, Trick Daddy. We got to play Trick.
Trick Daddy's more in need of the money.
Can we play Trick Daddy's Thug Holiday?
Trick Daddy needs that 0.0009 pence.
He probably really does. To be honest, at this point, his dad probably gets his streaming royalties too, doesn't he?
Probably.
Fuck it, put Phil on. Can we have against all odds?
We can.
Because it's against all odds where this show's ever going to get aired.
Hang on,
So
I've
let's,
left the group session. How did I do that? That's not good news. One sec.
if you fucked
No,
it
no,
on the
no,
first.
no, mate. You're making mountains out of molehills again. Like honestly,
I'm trying to beat the Viet Cong. I'm trying to beat the O.A.P Vietkong. I need to make small hills.
that's not playing, is it?
No, it's not playing for anyone.
Mate, this group session thing is the
It's shite,
shit.
isn't it? Spotify need to fucking get a grip. Oh, you're back in though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But then when I try and play, it's like you left it.
All right, fuck it. I'll just put on against all odds.
Yeah.
We'll work this out during the break. Let's get the bangers on.
You try and play the song because I feel like it works when you play it. It might be a thing of like if the person who created the group plays it, everyone else can hear it. Let me try and join the group again.
No, by leaving the session, you've spoiled it.
Not intentionally leaving it.
'Cause we've shared the laughter and the pain, and even
Oh, you in the
shared
group
the
session?
tears. You're the only one who really knew me at
We'll cut
all.
around.
So take a look at me now. There's just an empty
That's better.
space.
I think you as the host has to cue the song.
Right. That's even.
Just a memory of your face. Oh, take a look at me now. Well, there's just an empty space, and you coming back to me is against the odds, and that's what I've got to face. I wish I could just make you turn around and see me cry. There's so much I need to say to you, so many reasons why. You're the only one who really knew me at all. So take a look at me now. Well, there's just an empty space, and there's nothing left here to remind me. Just a memory of your face. Now take a look at me now. 'Cause there's just an empty space. But to wait for you is all I can do, and that's what I've gotta face. Take a good look at me now. 'Cause I'll still be standing here, and you coming back to me is against all odds. It's the chance I've gotta take. Take a look at me now.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was an absolute whopper.
You ended it rather abruptly, but you know.
Yeah,
needs
well,
must.
I don't know how you can't crossfade a tune on Spotify because it's fucking shite for these podcast type things. And frankly, we don't have the techers for anything else.
We could have downloaded the song.
I don't know if that would have helped. I think it
No,
still would have
true.
stopped
I don't
abruptly
know.
when I pressed the pause button. Anyway, we're back from the break. It's Burning Chat. It's episode
We're back
6.
from the brink.
We've never come back from the brink. It's Matthew and Ashley, Purple City's head councilman. And we're here for Burning Chat. We've just discussed Phil Collins' house siege with his mistress, wife, girlfriend, whatever she's currently classed as. What are we breaking down next, Ashley?
I was trying to see if there's anything that's related to this at all. There isn't.
We don't need a segue. We've gone for a beer and a wee.
I guess Busta Rhymes is music. Should we talk? Well,
Busta
sort
Rhymes
of.
is music.
Is music related rather? That's. I don't know why I didn't say related.
I mean, Busta Rhymes once went on tour with Moby and David Bowie, and I feel like there's a link there to Phil Collins if we stretch ourselves.
Look hard enough. Yeah.
So
there will be.
we won't look.
There's probably a Busta Rhymes remix of Phil Collins. There's so many.
Oh wait, hang on, no. So there was that hip hop. Do you remember that hip hop tribute night to Phil Collins?
Nah.
There was like a hip hop tribute night to Phil Collins where they just basically did a whole show. It was like the Grammys, but it was just hip hop people bigging up their love of Phil, and like I think Bone Thugs and Harmony were on it.
I think I do remember that, but didn't everyone only like In the Air Tonight? Like everyone, that was like.
Yeah, well, essentially it was a variations on a theme. In fact, though, actually, I say that I think I can come up with the nichest segue ever. Let me so on Extinction Level Event 1, there's a Busta Rhymes and Flip Mode Squad track called Against All Odds, which is what we just listened to.
Niche.
Fucking, how's that for
Very
absolutely...
good. That definitely wasn't a single.
In the Venn diagram of the only loser that's listened to the album cuts from both Phil Collins' soundtrack work and Busta Rhymes' middle-of-the-road second mid-career album, fourth album? Anyway, point is, there's a track on Extinction Level Event called Against All Odds. Phil Collins' best song is Against All Odds, taken from the soundtrack of the film Against All Odds. And Busta Rhymes has just released Extinction Level Event 2.
Interesting.
See how smoothly we angled that in.
Would it have been easier to do? Isn't there like a no? Probably
Look,
not.
We've done it now. Let's talk about
Okay,
Extinction
well done.
Level Event 2. Oh, you've got your mustard dressing gown on. That's nice.
I saw you were all snug in your robes.
I must admit, I am. It's fucking freezing here. The East Coast is being whipped by storms and general seaside weather.
Mate, the East End's pretty nippy too, to be honest. So
I like that mustard robe.
it's good. The sheets match.
For people listening on Threads, I'm sat in a very plush purple robe, and Ash has just rocked up in a sort of a Colonel Mustard gown.
Yeah, I have. It matches the bed sheets.
I was going to say you've gone fully in, which I've got time for.
As they say. Do
So
the
yeah,
sheets match the
Extinction
drapes?
Level Event 2. Did you even
Sorry.
know this was happening?
No one did.
No, because
I don't think anyone on it knew.
Well, there was, remember back in the day when mixtapes were a thing and people used to do the album before the album with B and 4 instead of before, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So Busta Rhymes did one in 2012 called Before Extinction Level Event 2.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
And then 8 years later, Extinction Level... I don't even know if the two things are related anymore.
No, probably not.
I doubt it. But that was just off the back of when he signed to Aftermath with Dre.
But then...
Oh, no, that was much earlier. No, that was like 03, wasn't it? No.
But then looking at like the
06?
features on this, looking at the features on Extinction Level Event 2, it's like a lot of rappers that would have been around in 2012. In fact, ones that would have retired in 2012 are on here.
I mean, overall, let's just we'll come back to this. What did you think of the record overall? Just let's go for overview first.
Broad overview. Half of it is good. Half of it is all right. No, half of it is good. A quarter of it is all right, and then a quarter of it's bad. Overall, it's maybe it's a third good, a third bad, and a third all right.
I don't think there's anything truly bad on it.
What about the Vibes Cartel track?
Oh, sorry, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
There's one track that I think's truly bad on it. I genuinely forgot about that.
And the intro. Well, no, actually,
No,
the intro's really good.
So
I'm
this
gonna
is
lie. No,
this
the
is
intro's
my
really
first
good.
problem and point with. It's both my first problem and my first good bit about it. The intro's great. Like, and I remember as when I bought Extinction Level Event 1, I was probably about 12, 13, 14, that age. That intro's great with like the dad explaining it's all gone to shit, and I like how they do the 2020 one. And it's like the mood's really pensive and it's all apocalyptic and it sounds great. And then it just cuts to like Chris Rock being like, "There's only 10 years left." There, and it's like, why have you? It's got like two intros.
Yeah.
And obviously Chris Rock, I don't mind him as a stand-up, but he's terrible as a shouty ad-libby guy on hip-hop records.
Yeah, as I've always thought, in isolation he's great.
Yeah.
But then when
left to play with anyone else, he's absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that,
apart from Osmosis Jones,
great film.
Yeah.
Genuinely good film, underrated animated film that. But yeah, so the track's really good too. It then goes into a track with a great beat and Rakim's on it too.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
Rakim's quite underwhelming on it. I sort of feel like if you're going to get Rakim out for one verse, I'm a bit like, at least get a good one, or just don't get him out.
Yeah,
like
he's known about this since 2012 when the prequel to
he clearly got the brief in 2011. And the track's great, and then it goes into like another intro from Busta Rhymes. At the end of the track, he like comes in and introduces Extinction Level Event 2, and it's like we just got that from the beginning of the track. Like,
but I mean, I still don't have. I'm still not that bothered by that either. It's like it's just an additional bit. It's whatever. It's Busta Rhymes.
My major complaint of the record is it's too long. And
yeah.
To summarize, the first track has 3 intros and a 5-minute track. And I'm like, therein lies the crux of the album. There's a really good thing, but it's just surrounded by loads of unnecessary fluff, or just like Lakuma Mates are.
Yeah.
And it damages the overall experience of the record. Like, the album's like, the normal version's like 90 minutes long.
Oof. Yeah.
And they released an extended version 48 hours after the normal version.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know why I've done that.
It's there's nothing new that's been added that's any good. There's a track with Eminem which is actually all right.
No, I don't need to hear that.
I mean, I know you're not a fan, and I'm not a big fan, but it is nice to just hear Eminem and Busta Rhymes. Like, they clearly just sat down and said, let's see how ridiculously technical we can be. And it's pure nonsense, but just purely on a showmanship level, it's like, oh yeah, this is why you two have been as good as, you know, like they do stuff that most people can't do. But I'm not a huge Eminem fan, and it is him just going flippity dippity bippity bippity. You know, he's like turned into a Mary Poppins character at this stage, isn't he? But yeah, the rest of the stuff, there's just like loads more piled on that doesn't need to be there. They've not taken out Chris Rock, and I'm like, at least if you're going to do an extended version, cut out Chris Rock and replace him with tunes.
He just appears too much on it. I'm
He
trying to
appears
think
too
of
much on
which track
everything.
I'm trying to think of which track it was, but there's this one where he just intros it for no reason.
That's what I mean. Like,
really loudly.
He's contextless throughout, because he's not even talking. Like, if they had him doing the kind of apocalyptic extinction level event stuff, maybe
At least there's like some sort of narrative.
But
in
it's
him
just
being
like
there and doing
it's like he just rang him and went, Chris, just say some stuff down the phone. Like, there's one where he just goes,
Chris, can you be hysteria again? Just be hysteria.
There's one where he's just going, it's Busta Rhymes. You're listening to Busta Rhymes. And it's like, we know. We bought the fucking album, or we clicked on it on Spotify. Like, we're not idiots. And there's a track, going back to the thing about it possibly being 2012, there's a track in the middle somewhere. I've forgotten the name of it off the top of my head. But it sounds like a 50 Cent hook. It's like that kind of sing-song... You know those club hooks that 50 used to have that are kind of sing-songy but not singing? There's one that sounds like that, and it's not a bad tune, but it's like, this totally sounds 10 years old.
I mean, there's one on there. It's the Mariah Carey feature one, which sounds like the unneeded sequel to "Give It to Me." You remember the one with the Flip Mode Squad? Give it to me, baby, if you give it to me.
That's I Know What You Want.
I Know What You Want. Sorry.
Like a sequel to that wasn't needed. It's a huge tune. It's also the tune where Spliff Star says Pooh Bear.
Yeah, but that's the original.
Yeah, that's true.
This next one is just not good.
I probably didn't need to hear it again.
I think that's another song that's not good. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Anderson .Paak, and I don't think that song on there is good. And I know it's one of the singles or whatever, but it's just not.
I didn't. That was a bit of a whatever. The one with Kendrick Lamar is ridiculously good. That's an absolute whopper. And I really like the end one. The last track, again though, like one of the best tracks is called... You Will
Satanic.
No, the one with Freedom with Nicky Greer. It's like a politicised, sort of reflection on... It's right at the end. And it's like, that should be sooner. And that's actually tied into the Extinction Level event theme.
Yeah.
Then it just goes off to like a Vibes Cartel wants nothing to do with anything. That You Will Never Find Another Me with Mary J. Blige's Toilet, but it's like Mary J. Blige's mate. It's like, well done.
I think you've kind of fallen down my opinion now of a third of it being good, maybe a quarter of it being bad.
Maybe it's so long and front loaded that because I've listened to it a few times, I've just got to like the middle and been like, that's good. I tell you, a track.
I think the reason why I've noticed that some of it is bad because like I'd still not properly had a listen, and you tasked me with listening into it yesterday, and I hated you for it.
You had that whole lay in.
So basically, I listened to it while cooking or something, and then once I'd finished cooking, there was still half an album to listen to, so I stopped listening to it. Put on that Fatboy Slim reggae album. That's not a reggae album. Actually, really good. I'd highly recommend listening to it. Anyway, put that on instead. Was in a good vibe. And this morning, I was like, shit, I still have to listen to half of a Busta Rhymes out. I say this morning, I mean this afternoon.
I've still got another 90 minutes of a Busta Rhymes record.
This afternoon, I was like, I still have to listen to another half of a Busta Rhymes album. And yeah, like you say, it's so front-loaded that if you listen to the backload in isolation, not good.
Right, yeah, maybe I've just... And also, like, the track Master Fard Muhammad. Busta Rhymes has, like, a really, really interesting politicised verse on it. And it just opens with Rick Ross doing, like, a shit Rick Ross verse, which has nothing to do with anything. It's just like, Rick Ross is my mate.
Ross, yeah.
The album just needs an editor. It needs a producer or an editor, a producer in the film sense, to come in and just go, no, yes, good, more of that, none of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's a kind of a drilly, trappy beat. And he's... Because obviously Busta can stick to anything. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's like one of the first times I've heard an old rapper and thought, I'd actually like to hear you on more contemporary beats. And then it's just like, here's Rick Ross talking about being the boss for the billionth time. And
I mean, it's what a good A&R should do. But
yeah, that's what it needs.
Sometimes
it just needs an A&R to come and like he mentions, you know, Chris Lighty died last year. He mentions the death of Chris Lighty because Lighty was his manager. And they were like really, really close friends. And obviously there's a lot of contention because Lighty committed suicide. Or it looks like he did. And loads of rappers are running around saying, oh, he didn't kill himself. He couldn't. He was a hard man. And it's like he mentions how much that hurt him in one track and then just moves on to like doing more vocal acrobatics. And I was like, well, do a track on that. That's interesting. And thematically, it fits in with the bleakness of 2020 and everything you're on about. But it just doesn't really touch it. I mean, maybe he couldn't. He didn't feel he was emotionally there to do it. But I'm kind of like, I don't want... Like, I know you can rap. I know you can just do endless sort of clever stuff.
Yeah.
But then it does... When it gets good, it's when he kind of leans into the theme of the Extinction Level Event thing. Or,
I mean,
or kind of takes a more politicised, mature slant.
I mean, that second track, Purge, and I hate Purge the film. I think it's awful, but...
I don't mind it. Wait, that beat as well.
Yeah,
that track's too short.
Well, good. Yeah, it is.
Like
that's the only thing that's too short on the album.
Yes, that's what I mean. But this kind of sums up the A&R thing we were saying about. There's too much of the wrong thing, and all the right bits are too short, and it's just a garbled mess. But I like it as an album, and I love Busta Rhymes so much that I'll kind of tolerate more.
Yeah.
But and there's also one of the greatest. There's in the middle of a track, in the middle of the beat. It just cuts and he just goes to his, I assume it's his assistant or someone. He's like, Yolanda, pass me my asparagus. And it's just, it makes no sense. But it's one of the greatest ad libs I've heard in years. I think it's on Boom. We might have to take a punt on that. Oh, and actually the track with Q-Tip's amazing. Don't go.
Yeah, that's really good.
Fantastic. Yeah. But it's like, just focus. I'd rather just have 10 tracks that are coherent. And take that.
Like, it's like at this point, you know what your fans want. Give them
but I don't know that he does. That seems to be his biggest problem. Like if you look at all of his records since the one with Mariah Carey on It Ain't Safe No More, they've just been like this weird mishmash of a bit of a trend, a bit of a classic New York thing, a bit of some other shit, a few of his mates, and there's just no. Like he seems to. I tell you who he's like, and actually it's one of my favorite sort of street singles, as well. Is Method Man. So they did What's Happening, him and Method Man. It's the only good track on Method Man's worst album. But he's kind of like Meth in that they're brilliant, and on guest verses they seem to absolutely destroy everything in the room, like they just completely clean up. But when they have to make their own album, it's like a scattershot mess of things. And I'd never really understand, like Method Man's kind of the same. Like he's never really done a truly, other than Tikal, which is just one producer, it's just him and RZA. And no guests who aren't Wu-Tang. Yeah. They're just like a scattershot mess of like, I've got loads of mates and here's a bunch of bars, and they're kind of all kind of cruddy, and then they're all an hour and a half long. And like they both just need one A&R to come in. We should sign them and clean up.
We ain't got that kind of money.
I know, but we should just be like, look boys, we know you got the chops, but frankly, You just need a
We
pair.
should-
Of,
we should-
you
we
need a
should
pair of
try and-
cynics to come in and tell you to rein it in at
We
times.
should try and get jobs as music consultants for Def Jam, and be like, "Here's what you
I
need
don't
your
know. I
rappers to
don't.
do."
I don't think we need rape allegations.
That's true.
Simmons is on his way out, isn't he? I mean, I feel the Def Jam brand could soon be going the way of the Miramax.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, see, I want to play The Purge, but I also want to try and find the track with the asparagus line on.
Do you know the track?
I think it's
Does-
Boom. I mean, I know Boom's
Hang
a
on,
really good
hang on.
tune anyway, so
Hang on.
I'm
The
gonna
internet will tell
let's
us.
go for it. It's gonna slow the flow. Let's go for Boom.
All right then.
Right. So here's
Make it
Busta
clap
Rhymes.
remix.
Ooh. Touch It remix. Papoose.
Oh.
The last time
Oh.
anyone saw Papoose alive. He's probably on the back of a milk carton now.
Probably.
Here's Busta Rhymes with Boom from Extinction Level Event 2.
Boom, 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 boom. I beat the set and say, hey, make sure you know, don't ever go against me. You could end up a victim for a call out the next play. Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boom. And if the cat fit feeling on me, got love in every hood, they been waiting for me. Hey, we about to blow them away with now shit. I got about $1 million on me. Boom. Better do what the king say. Hey, God on the flash, looking like Kunto Kinte. We done caught a few bodies, that nigga been great. Lay him out in that display. Boom. Got no love in the way I make shit shift. While I'm keeping them strong. Handle your bitch. What? Bust your head and I make it split. Give it good. While I make it hard to forget. What? Every rep, every interval, how we fucking shit up. Trouble is at a minimal. Global bitch, we killing New York, way down the Senegal. Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo. And if the cat fit feeling on me, got love in every hood, they been waiting for me. Hey, we about to blow them away with now shit. I got about $1 million on me. Boo. Come for the ride, my niggas, come on. Yes. Come for the ride, all my bitches, come on. Come on. Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo. Come for the ride, my niggas, come on. Yeah. Come for the ride, all my bitches, come on. Come on. Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo.
I tell you something, you know, every sound pack up your CD. Pack up the pouch, yeah. Put up the laptop there, the laptop there.
Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo.
Pack up the charger. Carry the bag go. And when I talk man way, when I start playing for money, pull up.
Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo.
We are talking about real select and real sound. We make real money. All the other selectors are trying.
Hey, see how they try to pin it on me. Boo.
Just leave the place. Clear the area. Do what you have to do. And show them how we make real money. They're just learning the fucking biz.
That was Busta Rhymes. They were Boom. Wasn't the one with the asparagus line, which is upsetting.
No.
It's a great tune, though. But again, that sums it up. That track was like 2 minutes 45, including an outro. And then you just get like 8 minutes of Chris Rock going, Busta Rhymes has got a new CD, motherfucker. And it's like, like I give a shit, Chris.
Should we talk about Chris Rock, like, very briefly?
Yeah,
Just
let's.
about,
Like... I wouldn't mind tucking into a bit of Chris Rock because Chris Rock has some great moments, and as a stand-up, I quite like him.
And to be absolutely fair to him, like really fair, you have to dig around for him. But there are a couple of okay films that he's done too. You have to really dig around for him.
Yeah, Bad Company and Lethal Weapon 4.
Did you just say Bad Company is a good film? Did you say Lethal Weapon 4 is a good film?
Maybe.
Jesus, you don't care who you have.
On Extinction Level Event 2, Chris Rock is very much in Lethal Weapon 4 mode. It's just sheer noise.
Yeah.
Sheer absolute nonsense.
It's like you always cite it. That scene with him and is it Joe Pesci?
Oh God, I actually
know
know
in the back seat of the car
for whatever
just shouting
reason.
each other like two Jack Russells.
No. It's, they're in the police precinct.
Oh yeah.
And Joe Pesci's trying to get Gibson to do something, and Chris Rock starts talking to him about someone stealing his phone and ringing a number in Afghanistan. And it just ends with Chris Rock going 4, 5. I don't know Afghanistan. And then Pesci's going, I fucking. And then Gibson rings him on the staff line, and he's like, yeah, I want you to investigate my privates. And it's just like, how is this a 15-minute skit in a fucking Lethal Weapon film? What is going on here? It's absolute nonsense of the highest order. God. And not even in a good way. It's just absolutely... But yeah, all the way through it, it's just noise. It's like it's one of the shoutiest, noisiest films I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Wait, what are the good Chris Rock films? Talk me through that.
I mean, so I remember a film called Head of State, which was actually quite good at the time.
Yeah, that is all right.
That is surprisingly good.
Although that's kind of like a shit rip-off of Bulworth of Warren Beatty, the one that had Ghetto Superstar as the theme tune.
Yeah. But what a great song! I mean, Praz on that song, Ghetto Superstar.
Actually, to cut back to the Busta Rhymes album, that's just reminded me. Praz is great on that track. He gets not enough shine generally. On the new Busta Rhymes album, there's a track featuring Old Dirty Bastard. And there's no explanation as to why there's a track with someone who's been dead for nearly a decade.
Yeah, I saw that.
And the verse, the Old Dirty Bastard vocals are like obviously just kind of some studio outtake bits and bobs. It's not like really a proper verse. It's kind of like whatever RZA had on a hard drive. And it's like, well, if you're talking about like, because Busta Rhymes, part of his verse, he mentions loads, like he does like a string of album names. They're like classic hip hop albums. But he does it so it's like a verse.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even reference an Old Dirty Bastard album in it, or an Old Dirty Bastard tune.
Exactly.
And it's like, well, I don't understand the context of this track or why it's bang in the middle of this album.
I don't get it either. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, it's just like a weird kind of, I don't know, weird filler of like not even... It's just that I've got mates.
Maybe we need to look. Maybe we need to look deeper into it. There might be something in there that is.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like if you don't get it when you hear the album, you've failed. Like,
because I mean,
it's fine having a press release.
Also on this album, he had so it's clearly Poison by Bell Biv DeVoe, but I can't remember their vocals actually being on there at all. So should they be featured on there?
I think they are a featured artist.
They are down as a featured artist, but should they be if they're not doing...
The hook is a slowed down version.
Oh, they have actually got the vocals off them.
Yeah.
Okay.
The chorus is, the hook is them slowed down.
Okay, because I know the beat is Poison, but...
no, Head of State is okay, actually. That's not a terrible film.
Head of State is good. Osmosis Jones, as we already mentioned.
Osmosis Jones is genuinely good. But I'd argue, like, he's great in it as a voiceover artist, but it's not a Chris Rock film, if you know what I mean.
No,
like,
it's not. No.
A lot of the other ones have a bit of his authorship to them.
But, I mean, he should never star in anything. He shouldn't. He should just never be allowed to star in anything. He should always be a co-star or sideline actor. Supporting role. Nurse Betty.
I've never seen that. I don't even think I've heard of that. What's Nurse Betty?
Nurse Betty is well good. With is it Renee Zellweger? Yeah, Renee Zellweger, Morgan Freeman, and I can't remember who else. Hang on, who is this on there? Greg Kinnear.
Greg. Oh, I think I've not seen it, but I think I do know what you're on about now. Yeah, that looks awful. I can't say that I'm interested in.
Well, I don't give a shit. It's good.
All right, excellent one. Good.
And yeah, I mean that's probably the beginning, middle, and end of his good films.
Excellent. I mean,
there's a lot of films that are bad.
Chris Rock wrote and directed a film about a stand-up comedian having an affair whilst making a film. And whilst he made it, he had an affair.
He had an affair, yeah. What was that film again?
I can't remember, but I sort of admire the fifth wall levels of strange author.
Oh wait, is it this one Top 5, where he's also director and writer?
Quite possibly.
The 2014 film. It looks like the one.
I think it's got a forgettable name.
Yeah. I don't remember it at all.
His stand-up I don't mind, but he has that... I don't know if it's just an American stand-up thing, but he does that thing that I can't stand, where like when you say something funny, you just stand there and repeat it 8 times to milk the laugh.
Yeah.
And it's like it's kind of like Busta Rhymes' album. Your show's just an extra 20 minutes because you repeat every joke that lands no less than 5 times and no more than 10.
Yeah.
But some of it's good, like the thing he did about bullet control. Have you seen that sketch, Bullet Control?
I don't think I have, no.
It's like he did a thing. It was after the Columbine massacre or around when that kind of stuff was a problem.
Yeah.
Not that it's not now, but I mean when it was, you know, a
When that
new
incident
problem.
happened, yeah.
But he did this whole sketch about how it's not about gun control, it's about bullet control. If you just make bullets really expensive, people will actually think about when they use them, and everyone will just like buy one at a time, and you won't, you know, you can just kill the guy you really. And it's a really, really good like.
I mean, this is what I mean. He's great at that. He's great at stand up.
Yeah,
he just crumbles
but
at everything
I think the problem I
else.
have
Like
with
Eddie Murphy, I think, as well. He's like great
No,
at
see,
stand up.
I think the opposite.
But then Murphy's
I think-
actually quite good. No, actually, no.
I
That's
think
true.
Murphy's
Murphy
stand-up
great
is
as an actor.
vile and largely not very good. He's just loud and was the only guy doing it at the time. I think he's a better
Yeah.
actor. He's better as a character. His stand-up's
Yeah.
actually pretty nasty. And most of it, and I'm not trying to get all fucking woke because you know I like to be
Oh
inappropriate.
no, it was of its
more
of its
than the
time,
average.
Yeah.
But even that I didn't
Even
really
then,
like.
it was pushing the envelope. Yeah,
Yeah, but it was kind of that end of the pier humour. Like in Britain, he'd actually be in that Roy Chubby Brown category of just making sleazy references
Yeah,
and
true.
sort of. He's not. It's not very cerebral. Whereas Chris Rock's is quite clever and switched on.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Eddie Murphy's just like, I talk really fast, I swear, and I say all the stuff that you wouldn't say unless you were drunk in the bedroom. And that stuff's funny for 2-3 minutes tops, but like an hour of it's absolutely exhausting. He's no Chris Tucker.
Whoa.
There's
Now we're
a man.
talking. Now we're talking.
Absolute legend.
Chris Tucker, what a man. God, someone
I
who
know.
literally
I
cannot
don't-
be stopped.
I don't have
No matter how big the tax bill, no matter how big the tax bill is, he cannot be stopped.
Yeah, no, he really can't. No matter how much, no matter
but
how
did they
much
do a
the
Rush
only
Hour 4?
director he's worked with for about 15 years gets done in the Weinstein scandal, he can't be stopped.
Did they ever do a Rush Hour 4?
Nah.
I know they did a 3.
No,
thought
Ratner's star has fallen, hasn't it? Because obviously
Yeah,
he's,
of course.
he's like number one cartel he's part of the Weinstein cartel,
yeah.
so he's
Yeah.
he's
But
scooted
I
off
feel
to-
like a new director with a completely new vision to take it out of the doldrums of being, you know, Ratner.
I mean, those
could
films
happen.
that I've not seen a Rush Hour in a while. I mean Rush Hour 1 I absolutely loved.
It's fantastic.
I can quote much of it.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like, they're that weird thing where they're pretty racist.
they're really fucking racist.
Like, but not even on a funny level.
No.
Like they've actually got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm comfortable anymore finding this amusing. Like the first and second ones in particular, well, no, all of them, but like, they're all pretty bad actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris Rock, I don't know, it's like Crunk Juice. It's a great album. It doesn't need Chris Rock on it.
Yes.
Like before the track Get Low, there's a thing called Get Low bracket skit with Chris Rock.
Oh, God.
And it's literally just Chris
Forgot-
Rock
Why
shout.
did you remind me of this? I completely forgot about
It's
that.
literally just Chris Rock going lower, lower, and I'm like, honestly, mate, it can't get any lower. Even as a 14-year-old, I was like, this is low. And I loved Crunk as a 14-year-old. And I still
you
don't
use
even
the-
know how I found it as a 14-year-old.
Did you used to swan about clubs with a jerry can full of I don't know, Monster?
Well, no, because normally Scott Graysmark, great man, shout out Scott, runner of Top Body Gym, would confiscate anything like that at the door. So we'd probably try and get in with shit like that and wouldn't. And at the time, I remember Yarmouth clubs wouldn't let you in if you had trainers on.
Oh,
They were still
classic.
in that. Yeah, we were still in. I mean, there's still places around here where you can't get in sportswear.
Yeah.
But the classic Squad X trick, shout out the gang, was what we used to do. If someone had trainers on when we tried to get in, you'd take your socks off and put them over your trainers so that they just were black. And when you, like, if a bouncer just glanced, you wouldn't
Glancing,
notice.
yeah.
And then when you got in, you just take your socks off and throw them in the bin and just be barefoot in your trainers all night.
You just throw your socks in the bin.
Yeah, because
You
they
just
probably
put-
get shit on them on the ground
Yeah,
whilst
that's
you're queued
true.
up.
Yeah.
But
I forget.
that's the tip. If you got sportswear on, if you're sports lux and you need to get in the club, socks over the trainers, straight in. Although if the
Nice.
bouncer spots you like hopping around on one foot in the queue, caned out your face, they're probably going to clock that you're trying to put your school socks over your trainers in a bid to get in the club that won't allow sports lux wear.
God, that's a trying to get in the club hip hop scene that never existed.
I mean, it's probably a skit on someone's album, isn't it? I feel like there could just be Chris Rock in the background going, "You got socks on! You got socks on!" Because all he does is shout whatever's happening. He's like a shit contestant on Gogglebox. He's literally like the human equivalent of Say What You See.
They have a Gogglebox USA now. Do you think he's gonna be on it at some point?
Yeah, if they need someone to just shout at the telly, it's not fair. It's not fair. Private healthcare. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Yes.
Thanks,
yes.
mate.
Thanks, Chris, rock audio description.
God. Oh no.
Taking my sight, please take my hearing too.
I was going to say, the only audio description even deaf people can hear. Jesus Christ. That's horrible, Ashley. I can't believe you've even thought that up.
Well, I am very sorry.
You're a sick individual. Should we have another tune? Because I need a beer and a wee.
I was going to. What do you fancy? Something with Chris Rock in it?
Well, I was going to say, should we put on the track before after the Chris Rock shout on Crunk Juice? But I just remembered it features R. Kelly, so we should probably swerve that.
No, we ain't doing that. Don't do that.
Can we put on Little John and the East Side Boys?
You're in charge of things.
Oh yeah, that's true. Should we go for Little John and the East Side Boys? Throw it up and
Can we do Pitbull? Wait, you have to be quick going to the fridge. But can we do Pitbull's Cuban Ride Out? I know it's like 2 minutes long.
I'll queue them both up. We'll do both because that's really short.
And I love Pitbull's Cuban Ride Out.
It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It reminds people that Pitbull's a good rapper. Well, actually, people still choose not to listen to it because it says Pitbull, but you know.
Yeah, a lot of people are deniers on that one.
Let's go! Let's go! Yeah! Look down the motherfucking East Side Boys. Okay. Pastor Troy. Yeah. We represent for everybody. Everybody. All the real niggas in America. Where you at? Or where the fuck you from? We represent for y'all. We represent for GA, Naptown, Tennessee, St. Louis, Jacksonville, Mississippi, Alabama, VA, Detroit, DC, Dallas, Texas, the Carolinas, Houston niggas, Louisiana, the Bay niggas. Let's go! Motherfucker, throw it up! Throw it up, motherfucker, throw it up! Throw it up, motherfucker, throw it up! Throw it up, where you from? Throw it up! If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club! If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club! If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club! If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club! Back up, bitch! Get the fuck out my way! Hey, move the fuck back, bitch! Move the fuck back! Back up, bitch! Get the fuck out my way! Hey, move the fuck back, bitch! Move the fuck back! What you looking at, nigga? What you looking at, nigga? Not me on my clique, we do drill, my nigga. What you looking at, nigga? What you looking at, nigga? Not me on my clique, we do drill, my nigga. We too deep up in this bitch. We too deep up in this bitch. It's more of us than it is in the club, stupid bitch. We too deep up in this bitch. We too deep up in this bitch. It's more of us than it is in the club, stupid bitch. Y'all niggas over there, y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all hoes over there, y'all hoes ain't shit. We run this, what? We run this, what? We run this, what? We run this, what? Throw it up, motherfucker, throw it up. Throw it up, motherfucker, throw it up. Throw it up, motherfucker, throw it up. Throw it up, throw it up. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out the club. The last nigga, it's the pastor. Ready to blast ya. You know, I don't play no motherfucking game. PSGB, you know the name. Wood grain in the motherfucking dually truck. Got the black and red seats with the Georgia tuck. Then I got my helmet hanging out the window, ready to bust the head of a fucking pretender. Nigga, as soon as I enter, you know I'm making noise. Pastor Troy and the East Side Boys, AK's bustin', I ride the whole clip. I cut that hoe and let a motherfucking rip. To sink ship is what I live for. Fuck him, fuck her. I'm representing, put some more yak in my mug. I'm looking around this bitch. I see a lot of niggas ain't throwing up shit. What? Y'all niggas must be scared to represent your shit. You're scared. You must be scared, nigga. Scared. Fuck that shit. Fuck all my real niggas. That's proud of they hoods. Yeah. All of my real ladies. Yeah. Proud of they hoods. Yeah. They ain't never been scared. Yeah. Say this shit. Yeah. Yeah. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. I ain't scared, motherfucker. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. I ain't scared, motherfucker. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. I ain't scared, motherfucker. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I ain't scared. I ain't scared, motherfucker.
I'm gonna represent where I'm from. In the back of the club, my tummy gun. Going out chill, fucking burn one. Leave about the club, it's me and Little John. Ballin' in the business, switching up lanes. Talking much shit, cause we deep in the game. Cocaine, all white fucking S fucking 6. Young ass niggas, I guess we filthy rich. My whole clique, ready to bust some heads. I'ma throw it up, bitch, and I ain't scared. Pastor Troy, motherfucker, you know the routine. Represent for the home team. Throw it up.
Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Throw it up. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out. If you scared to throw it up, get the fuck out.
I'm going to fade it out there because I think it's about 4 minutes of bitch, I ain't scared. Throw it up, motherfucker, at the end.
Should we just like play it quietly and let it roll? Just so we can just hear people just go, bitch, I ain't scared while we talk about crumpets.
In fact, yeah, there is genuinely another minute and 12 of that. Let me turn that back up a bit. I feel like we can pack crumpets onto the end of this one. I said pick because I just read your comment about pickled eggs and was like, oh, pickled eggs. Yeah, mate, I don't know why crumpets became an item on the itinerary, but how good are crumpets?
I fucking love crumpets. They've got a 9-pack in the cupboard.
They come in three threes.
They normally come in like 6-packs.
I was going to say nines. Normally it's like 6 or 8. Like
Warburtons, who are the kings of off the rail crumpets.
Your off the peg crumpet solution.
The kings of off the rail crumpets. They do a 9-pack now for like an extra 10 pence. I was like, this is only £1 for 9 crumpets. That's insane.
Mate, crumpets are just like, they're like sponges for butter.
They are the best.
There's absolutely nothing to be. There's no negative to crumpets at all.
There's also no. Well, then the positive is like you're just getting stodge, good stodge,
mate, it's pure,
good buttery stodge.
If I had to explain British cuisine to anyone who was like, the fuck's wrong with you lot, I'd be like, well, basically, dumplings and crumpets.
I mean, so most British food doesn't travel well at all outside the UK. The only thing that does...
Hang on, wait, no, I mean, in logistical terms, it travels brilliantly, because it's literally just flour, salt, and fat.
I know, but also in marketing terms.
Oh, no, in marketing terms, I'm sure it does. It barely makes it out of the fucking depot.
But I mean, if you... I reckon... People talk about fish and chips as being a British staple, but they also talk about crumpets. Tea and crumpets is like, everyone assumes we all eat that for breakfast and then we all have fish and chips for dinner, which is the dream.
Tea's officially not ours.
No, it's not, of course.
I'd like to, just before we go any further.
It's the Empire's.
You fucking, I told you, get back to your flat roof pub, you fucking nationalist. You're the worst sort. You're the worst sort. Have a good mind to turn this podcast home. Have a good mind to turn around and drive this podcast home.
I'll trade you for some O.A.P. I mean, God.
Who wants skag? What I was going to say before we got into the Skag chat was, before we go any further, I'd like to shout out the big man Craig Evans.
Why, eh?
Because you basically just said his perfect dietary day. Get up.
He does like a crumpet,
Cups
apparently.
of tea,
I've never
crumpet,
seen it. I've never known him
fish
to
and
have
chips.
one. He's really into carling at the moment. It's his beer of choice. I'm like, really?
I hope
Like,
I hope you're joking.
I wish I was.
I retract my shout out. Essentially, I'm not a snob. We've just rolled into our next topic.
Have we?
I was about to say I'm not a snob and then list off all the things I'm a snob about. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not a snob, but there are 3 beers that I truly draw the line at under all circumstances.
I see what we've rolled into here.
Yeah, you get where we're headed. But the ones that I'm just like, no, on any level. Like, if I was in the desert and there's me and my life partner, Charlotte, and we're, like, crawling along, dying of thirst.
Why have you taken her on holidays to the desert?
We haven't. No, the plane crashed on the way to the divorce settlement.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've occupied her mansion with my armed guards. And
You're taking a bit. Funny, going back to that film one.
We crashed just outside Vegas.
Just one last second. Her and this guy Tom Baxter or whatever his name is.
I nearly fucking sprayed beer on the live stream.
started taking a piss out of his songs, like not very good either. Yeah,
where? On TikTok or something?
No, just like making fun of the names of the songs. So they're calling it like
One More Shite.
Suicidio. Like, I don't understand what that means. And there's another one which is like, I think there's one related to One More Night, but it's not very good.
I just threw One More Shite off the cuff, and I feel like I'm already
1,000 times better. Oh man.
Baxter. That's what I was ranting about. If shout out Tom Baxter, great man. If we were in the desert and I came across a can of Carling, a can of green Carlsberg or a Foster's, I would literally just get Charlotte to stove my head in with it, because I was like, any of the 3. I haven't got 2 heads. I'm not.
I bet at times like that you wish you did, so you could ruin more beer.
I may be a child of the devil, but I'm not Cerberus. I'm not a Grecian myth of a man. Was Cerberus Greek? I don't know. Anyway,
that sounds.
If I was stuck in Dante's Inferno with 2 heads and I found a can of Foster's or Carling, I'd get Charlotte to stove in both the heads with the 1 tin. But yeah, how is he into Carling now? That's not.
I don't know. It's just like he's moved on from Cronenberg to Carling. You feel like he's taking a step back.
I was going to say moved on. You've moved down.
Yeah, you've been relegated. I'm not a big 1664 fan myself.
I was going to say,
though I do like the French Revolution because I love Les Mis.
I know you do, and I'm not a giant advocate of Les Mis or Cronenberg. In fact, most things related to the French Revolution, other than historical fact, I'm not really bothered about. Although, great side anecdote. I was going to say great anecdote. I don't know about that, but it's quite it's quite amusing. So one of my university crew, Ant, shout out Ant, I love you, man. But I am going to tell this tale because it's fucking funny. He was those kind of people that are proud to be northern, and they kind of northern up their northernness a bit.
But they also like just ham up the sort of the earth stuff as well. It's like,
you're
not like that.
It'd come into a lesson.
Your Hovis advert.
It'd be like, I've got my Yorkshire tea, and you could see the PG Tips tag hanging out of the cup. And it'd be like dipping a fish finger into a Yorkshire tea or something, and be like, I'm from up north. But we were in a pub, and he went up to the barmaid and went, "Pint at numbers, please, love." Because up north they call it the numbers, apparently. And she was like, "You fucking what?" And he's like, "Cronenberg, please," because it's got 1664 on the tap. So apparently in the north it's called the numbers. I've no proof of this.
Bloody idiots.
And the only time I've seen a northerner ask for it, the barmaid was like, Are you all right, mate? And it was a flat roof pub, so you'd have loved it.
I mean, well, I'm surprised he didn't get his head caved in.
He was white. It's fine.
All right, fair. Going back to the track names that they've taken the mick out of. Her attorney wrote, listing their claims under mock song titles, including Not Another Day in Paradise. It's not a mock.
Poor at best.
And Philip Suicidios.
I mean, get a grip. Like, there's much better things you can do with that. Like, you could, when you submit the one for Susudio, it's like, why do you need the money? Reason, I want to buy a Susudio flat. It's a much better one.
Susu.
Well, that's what she was going for, I think.
Oh. She didn't do well.
It was. I think my Susudio flat one was far more contextually clever.
I think so, yeah.
But and obviously One More Shite, classic.
One More Shite's a good one. But I feel like shite doesn't travel well. It's very much a UK thing.
I like how you've got that back to Crumpets there with the travel well discussion. You've navigated around that beautifully.
Oh yeah. Oh, I see what I've done there. Yeah. It's like you. It's like you with Phil Collins into Busta Rhymes.
We drifted off topic, but you brought it back with items that don't travel well.
So yeah, I've got a 9-pack. And I was going to have it before getting on there, and I didn't have time, so I just didn't.
Were you going to have the whole 9-pack?
I was going to have 2 of the 9.
Okay, that's all right. Well, that you need to start with an odd number so you got evens for the rest of the week.
I watched a Guy Ritchie film the other day. There's a link here.
Is there?
It's that one, The Gentleman.
Why did you watch that?
Everyone else wanted to watch it.
Hang on, who's this everyone?
In the house. But it's better than some of his other stuff. However, it reminded me of a better version of Revolver, which reminds me of, every time I watch it, reminds me of Rolling with the Nines. Do you remember a film called Rolling with the Nines?
I honestly had forgotten about Rolling with the Nines until you
awful film.
Yeah, why? I don't know why you do this every week.
But better than Revolver.
Yeah, but to be honest, if there was CCTV at Auschwitz, it would be better than Revolver.
No comment.
Maybe we need to edit that bit out. The point is, Revolver's absolutely shite.
Revolver is absolutely shite. You're very right there.
And the worst, I think the thing I do love, actually, I say that, Revolver is shite, but there's one thing I love about it, is when it got made, Guy Ritchie thought he was really clever. And I love that what it sums up is, if you leave Guy Ritchie to his own devices, and he doesn't have producers, he doesn't have script editors, he doesn't have a team around him with input, he's actually worse than he normally is. And that heartens me, because I hate Guy Ritchie anyway. Technically, I know he's very proficient.
Hang on, you love Prince Arthur.
Well, it's called King Arthur for a
King
start.
Arthur.
I mean, yeah, he's not even the right.
Actually, the worst thing about this.
I bet it's Charlie Hunnam, isn't it?
Charlie Hunnam is the main guy.
He's so shit in everything.
The thing that I really liked about it, though, and I still feel a bit. So I love Hugh Grant.
Oh, I heard he's really good in it. He plays like a sleazy Sun journalist, doesn't he?
He plays like a sleazy Sun journalist. But I'm used to him being in a posh accent, like his own accent, and he's not. But the thing that I can probably closely relate it to, which sounds a bit weird, is his role in Paddington.
Yes, best thing he's ever.
Where it's like a mischievous kind of creepy man.
I genuinely, I've always had comedies and films for the family get absolutely no respect in awards circles. I mean, I don't agree with awards anyway. They're all bullshit and they're all voted for by the white people that run the game.
It's like family films and comedies never get love.
But the Oscars, who gives a shit what wins an Oscar? Because it's all fucking PR shite anyway.
I mean, the worst thing that I've seen, was it the Oscars or was it the Golden Globes? Either way, the worst thing that I've seen of that was that they said, what was that Mars film with Matt Damon? The Martian. The Martian got the award for best comedy.
I mean, it's not funny, but I'd argue
it's not a comedy.
There's at least an hour
There's
of
actual comedies there that should be up for the award.
There's at least an hour of it that's so tense you nearly shit yourself. And I can't think of any comedy that has that.
Like the bit where he's losing weight and is going to die and he's traveling back to work. That's fucking intense.
It's a bit like I think it was 1980. What year did the Black Album by Metallica come out? Was that 1990 or 89 or 91?
Not sure.
Anyway, the year that the Black Album by Metallica came out, I feel
like it's 1990.
I hate Metallica, but the Black Album's a good record. They lost Best Heavy Metal Album at the Grammys to, wait for it, Crest of a Knave by Jethro Tull. Which is in no way... I'm pretty sure
like experimental flutist Jethro
yeah,
Tull.
I'm pretty sure I didn't make that up. Let me just check that, because I'll check it live on air, because that's how we roll now, because in the past we've not checked things and we've been talking shit.
I mean, yeah, there's a topic coming up that is just entirely shit, and we're still going to roll with it.
Wait, to be honest, I don't know which one you're on about.
Okay, good.
There's a few. Hang on. Yeah, here you go. Right, so... all right, so it wasn't the Black Album. It was also a critical favourite. This is Jethro Tull's Crest of a Knave, 1989. Winning the 1989 Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Metal Performance Vocal or Instrumental. In what was widely viewed as an upset over the favourite, Metallica's And Justice for All.
Jesus.
So...
Fucking
and
hell.
it's not metal on any level. It's like prog folk at best.
Prog folk.
But yeah, so there's that.
I don't like Jethro Tull. I think they're a bad band.
Oh, they're all right. I like them. I got time. I like their folkier stuff more. I think when they got proggy, they got nonsense.
I feel like I prefer their folkier stuff, but even still, it's just experimental flute.
Heavy Horses and Songs from the Wood, I will back. They're very good records. And I quite like Minstrel in the Gallery, but the shorter acoustic parts are better than the big proggy 10-minute movements.
But you like a Minstrel in the Gallery, you fucking racist.
Oh, yeah, coming from fucking Flat Roof Pub, Pastor Troy and Bone Crusher are the same crunker. Fuck off.
No.
Fuck off, mate. You're the...
It's a hang on. That shout-out was because the bit before I said never scared to do a tactical.
Whatever. You said it
because they keep on saying never be scared to.
You said it as soon as Pastor Troy's vocal started, and you were like, "Oh yeah, gruff voice black man, yeah, that's obviously Bone Crusher, isn't it?" I mean, to be fair, it was going to be one of the two. So,
I mean, they were saying this is Pastor Troy for so long before Pastor Troy came on, so I'm pretty sure I knew it was Pastor Troy.
Particularly in crunk, you do have the excuse that everyone repeats everything at least 12 times per bar.
Exactly.
But that's beside the point.
Either way. Love Crumpets. I think they're great.
To be honest, that section was a lot more detailed and interesting than I thought it was going to be. We really mined more out of that than I thought we were going to get when you said, "Can we talk about how good Crumpets are?" And I went, "Yeah, I love Crumpets."
What I thought you were leaning towards after shouting out Carling being a bad beer was that you despise Red Stripe.
That's where we're off to, but we need a break so we can play the original Crumpet Nigella's track Nigella by our own Etch. So
right,
let's segue there into Nigella.
Come back for Red Stripe.
Yeah.
Love and hate.
Keep it locked. We're going to discuss how shite Red Stripe is.
And how lovely Red Stripe is.
C.
This is the moment of truth.
I like that.
Man, I mean,
That was good, Matty.
everyone loves a tune. And that one in particular, absolute classic. That was our very own Etch.
Is this a so nice they played it twice setup you're doing, Matt? Or
No, it's just the bit that skipped off the beginning for unknown reasons, apparently. But I've turned it down now. That was Etch with Nigella on our very own Purple City. Yeah, we're a record label when we're not chatting absolute honk on the old live stream. Who knew? So that was Etch with Nigella.
lovely.
Absolute
Should we
treat.
start fading him down?
It's off, isn't it? It's faded down my end.
Oh, right. Nah.
Mate, so I'd like to point out to our listeners, Spotify's group session thing is absolutely useless on every level.
I'm going to turn it off on my end. Just, all right. Good work.
Right, so that was Etch with Nigella from our very own Purple City, one of ours. A rare treat that we play one of our bangers on the show. Some more Etch coming soon.
Right. Get him out of bed in time.
He's always out of bed. He doesn't even sleep, bless him.
Mate, the last time he was on a podcast with us, which you can't find nowadays, he was in bed the entire time drinking a Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, but he was awake. He's never asleep is the point. He might be in bed all day, but he's never asleep.
That's true.
The city that sleeps. I mean, it's Who We Be.
Ooh,
can we play Who We Be by DMX at some point? That's a big tune. Anyway, so let's crack on. It's literally like the early 2000s version of the Muppets. Manamana. Just DMX going da-da, 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 da-da.
It's like, oh, what instrument are you playing? It's just a DMX. Oh, you mean like a drum? No, DMX.
No,
It's DMX.
I've got Earl Simmons out the back, just making noises. It's not a DMX, it's Earl Simmons. So anyway, Red
DMX.
Stripe being a shit beer. Let's get to it, because I know it's contentious, and I don't do it to be contentious.
You do.
No, I don't. No, I actually, if anything, I've probably pretended to like Red Stripe more than I should over the years. But it's not a very good beer. One, it's brewed with hop extract and sugar and syrup and weird caramel extracts.
Which you like.
No, but they don't need to be there. They're bulkers to make things cheap. It's like getting orange juice from concentrate. It's fine, but it's not really how it should be. And it's not a budget beer. It's expensive. If it was really cheap,
It's not meant to be expensive. It's meant to be as bargain basement as all the rest. It's just clubs and bars seem to think it's exotic.
No, but if you buy the cans now or the little bottles, the bottles do taste a lot better than the tins.
The bottles are great, yeah.
No, but they're not great. They're still not great. But
they're good.
Six
They're
of those
decent.
is $6.50 and lower stuffed.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And the crates of cans are like the same price as the premium import lagers like Asahi, and it's brewed in Leeds because it's brewed by the company that owns Foster's.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no reason. It's not like if it was those prices and they didn't use hop extract and syrup, maybe. But generally speaking, it tastes crap. It's fine if it's really cold. But it tastes like shite if it's not. And it's not that good as a beer regardless. It's not exactly I think it's really overrated. I understand its position in the music industry and all its bloody Jamaica connections. But I just...
It's run by the D&G company.
Yeah, but is it though? Because it's now brewed in Leeds by the company that brew Foster's, and it's
Candle's gone out.
It's bottled and canned here, and I'm a bit like, I feel like you're...
Yeah, but everything kind of is after a while.
Yeah, but
How you become international.
Should we accept it?
Should the Irish accept Guinness being made in Nigeria and the West Indies?
No, but that's slightly the other way, because they brand that as a different type. Like, Nigerian export has its own flavour, and it's its own style of Guinness.
Fair,
and it's really nice.
And
which
it's also
helps.
owned by the Diageo company who do Red Stripe.
Oh, really? What do they own the license on it, or do they own Nigerian Nigerian export
I
Guinness?
think they just own Guinness and own D&G. Well, I
do
think
they
own
own?
the
Do they own
entirety of
Dragon
D&G
Stout
now.
as well?
Dragon Stout's a classic D&G
Yeah.
drink.
So
as is
who
Old
owns
Jamaica
who
ginger
owns
beer.
D&G?
I believe Diageo owns all of it, or just Red Stripe. I'm not sure.
Right, got you. But yeah, I don't know. I when I saw the cans the other day when we were beer shopping, I was just pondering it, and I was like, yeah. Apart from the fact like it's always at Outlook Festival, and it's kind of like linked to dubstep, almost. Inextricably. You can't
By
separate
Osmosis
it.
Jones.
There's a niche link no one needed. You fucking loser.
Full of them today.
Yeah, we are smashing them out. But yeah, I don't know. I just felt I needed to stand up and say I don't dislike Red Stripe. Like I was saying in the desert scenario, I wouldn't drink Foster's Carling or Green Carlsberg. I would have a Red Stripe, but I don't think it deserves to be in the £5.50 a can range.
It shouldn't be in that range. But
It's-
then when we used to go to the Green Off license in Hackney,
Mate, I miss Greenie and Hackney.
it's still like £1.10 a can.
Yeah, but you can get an export for £1 a can in Greenie, and that's better than
Well,
Red Stripe.
it might actually still be £1. I'm not sure.
I-
But it's
yeah,
still
but
like
either way,
the same kind of
it
rate.
can't-
You know,
it
it's
can't-
like,
Red Stripe's arms are too short to box with export.
but you can't go less than £1 on anything.
No, but what I'm saying is, if anything, export should charge more. I hope they don't,
no,
because
it should.
I like
Yeah,
that
I
I
mean-
can get them for £1 a tin.
Same.
But export and Red Stripe are not in the same league.
It's a closely fought battle, I think.
No, man. Red Stripe's made with hop extract and like syrups, and they're just cheap bulkers for like crap low level beers to make them flavoursome without actually having fresh ingredients.
But then you like Stella.
It's all right. I'm again.
You're a fan of Stella, and
It's,
I think
it's
Stella
better
is
than
awful.
It's better than Red Stripe.
Nah,
Yeah, it is. It's made with.
nah.
At least it's not made with hop extract and weird syrups.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
No, it's actually not though. That's the thing. Unfortunately, it's been tarnished with the wife beater brush, and it's probably a better beer than people think it is. And Red Stripe.
To be fair, it's so horrible tasting. It definitely doesn't have syrup in it.
I mean, interestingly, this is probably a sort of a summation of how much branding matters more than quality. Like, Stella is made with better stuff and is a better beer, but Red Stripe has a better public image and is made with crap. It's like what's
Do you think it does? I feel like they. Well, I think you're right. Yeah.
Nah,
no,
Stella's
it's
got an awful
over time.
image.
Yeah,
No
over
one-
time, it's got that horrible domestic abuse image. Yeah.
no one like that. They degraded it percentage wise years ago to get away from that, and the tag never left regardless. But it's kind of like what's the Thai beer we used to drink? Tiger, the blue one with the blue and gold
Oh, yeah.
label.
That's weird.
Yeah, but that's made with syrup as well. They put syrup
right.
in them. They put syrup in them because sugars are generated during the brewing process.
Yeah.
But they add syrup to speed it up because it's cheaper and you don't have to leave it in the vats as long and you can get it out quicker.
But it is a weird beer.
Yeah, well,
now.
that and Kingfisher are full of syrup. That's why they're made with chemical stuff. They're not.
Yeah.
It's not natural ingredients, and it's like you can tell. Tiger now tastes fucking weird and shitty, and because it's hop extract, you get this weird bitterness on the right back of the tongue. Like
You can see it on the foam, on the froth. When it's poured out the bottle, you can kind of see this sort of sulfuric looking mess on the top. Of it.
Tiger's like that weird. So around here, just off the coast here, a lot of the ocean liners sit around because they don't want to pay the fees at Felixstowe docks. So they just sit out here and flush their tanks whilst they're sat on the tides out between Felixstowe and here. And it all washes up on the beach, and you get this weird sort of yellow crusty foam on top of the waves as the surf comes in. And that's basically what a Tiger pours like. It pours like the flush tanks of an oil tanker.
And no one wants to be ingesting that.
Well, I mean, I will if in a pinch. It's
But
still better than Carling Foster's or Green Carlsberg.
My main fear was that you were relegating Red Stripe to Carlos Foster's.
No, I don't-
Foster's and Green Carlsberg.
Certainly not. When it's on the tap or bottled, it's not that bad. But I
Okay.
still, for a beer that charges premium rate, I don't understand why they
As
use
a tinny, I probably won't drink it unless it's
No,
like
exactly,
the only thing there.
as a tinny. I'll try not to touch it, and normally there'll be something else.
Yeah.
But it's the same as Holston
I'd
Pills.
sooner go for a Cronin. I'd sooner go for pint at numbers.
Pint at numbers, please, landlord. You fucking what? It's the same as Holston Pills. I mean, shout out Riz Latif, the original Holston Pills man. Like, if Holston Pills ever needs a fucking sponsor, get some money behind Riz, because he is the guy. He has never let you down. And you owe it to Riz, because he's the fucking best garage and 140 DJ on earth. I've called it. He's fucking great.
No, that's fine. No, I'm more offended by Holston Pills because they were the sponsor for Tottenham for a long time, and as you know, Tottenham Hotspur are scum.
I forgot about your love of Tottenham.
No, what?
I mean, sorry, your scum of Tottenham. But
They are the scum of Tottenham. Yes.
But again, they've
Freds
started
aren't
the
the
same.
scum of Tottenham. I like Freds. They're a good team.
No.
They can stay in Tottenham, but just
Threads,
don't associate
Threads are
themselves
the
with the
ultimate
Hotspurs.
team. But it's the same again. It's just all done with cheap syrupy shit. Like they use syrup in it and hop extract. And it's all just crap that brands of that size, like small, I get like hop extract is useful stuff for small breweries because obviously it's condensed. The hop is condensed. It's more flavoursome in its little pellet form. But like you don't need that if you're Red Stripe and charging £6 a tin at festivals.
Yeah.
Like I understand the festivals put their markup on, but their markup is a percentage of what they pay to get
Their
it
markup
in.
is 500%. Yeah.
But Red Stripe is still charging whatever they're charging to get it in.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's not that good. You're not worth that much. Yeah, I think Red Stripe need to fucking take a long hard look in the mirror or just stop using shite in their beers. Like,
Wow. Well, what are your thoughts on some of the Czech beers making it into the UK now and being owned by the same company?
I'm currently on a Budvar,
Yeah.
which is
I'm not sure who owns Budvar now. I feel like that's been changed, but mainly Prava and Staropramen have been bought out by, I believe, the Heineken company.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, because they come. If you go in a pub now, they come on the taps where Coors and that used to be. They've taken over most of those ones. I mean, the thing is, the problem with beers in that regard is they're kind of like it's a bit like tech companies that get bought by Google.
Yeah.
They get bought by them because they're successful and they either need to buy them or crush them. And usually it's quicker to buy them. And a lot of the time they need money to upscale. But it's like if they're left alone to do their thing, then it's fine. Like I'm sure it's a bit like Unilever that owns every bloody bathroom-based brand.
Yeah, not even bathroom. They own like Marmite
just cereal
as well.
and all that. Like, but it's like if you get to the point, I get that we need to look at these companies and see if they're ethical and all the rest. But if you get to the point where you cut out every unethical company, you basically can't ever eat again, drink again, or sleep again. Because they all own a bit of something.
Yeah, in the world, yeah.
And I think if they buy the companies, it's never great for the company. Well, it probably is economically great for the company. But it's only really good for the brand if they leave them alone to just carry on doing what they do. Like, you know, like Doc Martens is a great example. Well, we both wear Docs, you know. It's probably the main shoe that we both buy, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
But like they got bought out by a giant Chinese consortium, and they outsourced something like 70% of the production to Chinese factories and or factories in Southeast Asia and all those areas, and like the boots fall apart in a year, whereas they used to last 15.
Yeah.
And it's like I've looked on a lot of the sites because I'm a bit of a shoe buyer, as you know, and a bit of a fucking geek for it. But the amount of customers complaining because, like, you know, they're like, I buy a pair a year, I get a new style. And they're like, the old ones have fallen apart within 6 months. And I've still got a pair I bought 10 years ago. And it's like, if you compromise the quality, then it doesn't matter who owns you, you've ruined it. But if you buy something and just leave them to do their thing and financially support them when they need it, that's the balance, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the beers, it's like if they get bought by a big company, as soon as you become successful enough, that's probably going to happen. And it's kind of like, you know, if Purple City, not that I think we ever would, But if we got approached by bloody...
No, but I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing that happens in music. It's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the same
Black
structure.
Butter is Black Butter is probably the big one of that.
Ooh.
Where like they sold themselves for £1 million
Yeah.
to Sony, and then just they no longer make electronic music at all.
And now,
Whereas like their big acts were like Clean Bandit and Rudimental.
And now they've got to try and clean out Octavian,
exactly
the original
So it's like-
the original Dirty Bandit.
Exactly. I mean, they already had a bit of a headache with what's his name? Had a knife in Stratford.
Oh, you've narrowed it right down.
Um,
Thingy. Oh no, sorry. Of course. God, had the massive album.
Yeah.
Why have I forgotten his name?
This is annoying.
We should stop drinking on these fucking podcasts, man. This is a pain in the ass, really. Jay Huss.
Jay Huss.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, but Jay Huss's behaviour
I mean,
was...
it leads into the culture. It's like having a knife is proving you're a hard man. It's like
But,
Jay-Z being a drug dealer or doing dumb crime. It's like
Jay Huss's behaviour is not excusable.
No.
But at the same time, this is another level
This
of
is a different
horrific.
level, yeah.
But it's the same sort of thing. It's that thing of like, if like Warner Brothers or Sony popped up and were like, do you want £2 million and we'll just like let you do your thing? We'd obviously say yes, basically. Like, who doesn't want to retire early and still have control of their brand?
Yeah.
But if Sony turned up and were like, do you want £2 million and you can never have a say again in what music Purple City signs or what the albums look like? I mean, I say this as someone who's not been offered £2 million for that. But I'm like, I don't think I'd like
be
that.
less. Yeah, if we're doing well, I don't think
Yeah,
us selling the integrity of the brand.
If you're already
to do
rolling,
that.
why would you? You know, if
we
you're
know
already
if we know
comfortable
it's a flop and we're kind of disassociated with it, then it's like, oh well,
yeah.
maybe.
If you've just signed Octavian and someone offers you $2 million to take some fucking horrific wife beater off your hands, maybe. And I kind of think, I think it's the same with the booze thing. It's like if a big brand buys up your beer but kind of says we'll leave you to it, just we'll pump some money in, but we'll obviously take a bit off the top. At this stage in capitalism, I don't think you can get around that, because there comes a point where if you don't get a 10 million quid injection from a massive conglomerate, you can't upscale beyond a certain size.
Yeah.
But as it stands, Red Stripe has kind of upscaled and been bought by Foster's and is now just making Foster's, but in a Red Stripe can. And I'm like...
The Diageo group. Don't call them the Foster's
Yeah, but you know
group.
what
That's
I mean.
not fine.
I'm like, fuck that. I don't agree with that.
Have you seen the kidnapping of Mr. Heineken yet?
No, I haven't. No, I still need to watch
it's
it.
Such
I know.
a good film.
I need to... Let me make a note of that. I keep making notes of it.
Bloody Hopkins in it. He's just Hopkins being Hopkins. He plays a pope. He can, well, not in the film, but he can play a pope. He can play a hard man. He can play a kidnapped beer conglomerate. He can do anything.
I'll tell you what's interesting there.
What is interesting there is that he plays the same character in all of them.
What's more interesting?
And in Bad Company.
What's more
See what I did there?
Mate, I was about to... So this is where I was going. What's more interesting than that is, not only has Anthony Hopkins worked with Chris Rock on the awful film Bad Company, which Total Film once said in a review, Anthony Hopkins shifts across the screen with all the grace of a constipated warthog in clogs, which I memorised as an 11-year-old in 2002 or whenever, and it's still the greatest line in a review ever.
Very on the nail as well.
And totally accurate. Is you use the word conglomerate, and that's the record label that Busta Rhymes has been endlessly talking about and failing to get off the ground for 110 years. So you've brought this full circle, Ashley, in a way that we could only dare to dream of had we have scripted this thing.
I am like Saturn, look at my rings.
Pardon?
Full circle.
Knights in White Satin. Should we get that on for the break?
All right, yeah, that links.
I mean, yeah, you said Saturn, I said Saturn. The link is live. All right.
I was talking about the planet, but yeah, okay, we can go for Saturn, the fabric.
Well, have you got any tracks called Saturn?
No, do you?
There's a good Jay Kenzo one called Saturn.
Oh.
Where do you want to go? Knights in White Satin or Jay Kenzo?
Put your hands together.
Hang on, wait. Has he done?
Make
Yeah.
it clap.
Make it clap. I mean, that's a great tune. We could just go all out, balls to the wall, Busta Rhymes. I feel like
I feel bad playing Elephant Man though.
that's true. Maybe we shouldn't go that way. No, so sorry. There isn't a track called Saturn by Kenzo. I thought there was.
Must be some Next Planet.
I mean, could be some next planet. Shall we go Nights in White Satin?
You made your bed, now you must sleep in it.
Ooh. So there's a... Hang on. So, I think it's a moody blues song, right?
Right.
Is that the one you thought of?
What are you talking about?
The song, Nights in White Satin.
I don't remember it being a blues song.
No. It's by a band called the Moody Blues, who weren't.
Oh
really...
yeah. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I thought this. So on Spotty, I've obviously just banged that in, off the cuff. So there's a Giorgio Moroder remix or cover.
Now we're in.
Shall we get on that?
Oh yes, let's go proper Donna Summer.
Shall we see how that ends? Right. Okay. Here's Giorgio Moroder with Nights in White
Get it on
Satin.
the old joint listening set.
Yeah, it's on.
Sure.
Oh! I think we've hit a winner.
Have we now?
Probably not.
I mean, I can't hear it, so yeah.
burning chat, burning chat, burning chat, burning chat. That was Giorgio Moroder with a cover of Nights in White Satin. I've no idea how we ended up there, but
Me neither. I'm trying to relight my fire
I was gonna
in my candle.
Oh, can we get that on to end the show? That's an absolute whopper.
Mate, Lulu is well good.
She's not. She just turns up at every fucking shite Jules Holland thing. And I fucking hate Jules Holland.
Is she still going, Lulu?
Probably. She can't die.
Um,
She's like Charlize Theron in that new film that's on Netflix, where she's just like some immortal that wanders through time being like, I'm lonely because I can't die.
I feel like we're out of sync because Nights in White Satin has just started playing in my headphones, which is really nice.
Well, conversationally, we're up to speed. But you
Good.
seem to have picked up on this track later somehow, which doesn't make any sense.
Don't worry about that. I'll put a pause to it.
yeah,
It sounded good from Moroder standards, and he does everything well.
So it's still playing my end.
Oh, I'll put a stop to it.
All right, good. Well, we all have. Stop fucking around with that candle. That's not going to work on air, is it,
fuck off,
Ashley?
mate.
All right. Well, fucking light your
Twat.
candle then.
Look,
and we'll
look,
get
it's
on.
going. Look, I relit my fires.
All right, well, you've done very well. Can I borrow a
Harry
light?
Barlow will be proud.
Can I borrow a light? Because anyway, right. So we've just covered why Red Stripes
Just
actually...
give me the light and pass the dro. Right, where were we?
I was going to stick to my Girls Like Glue, but you're my lovely number 2.
Punkay.
Tomahawk, Feet Little Mix.
It's called Hair.
All right, whatever, mate. It's off the album Tomahawk.
Fucking Egypt.
Anyway, so we've covered that. What did we have to... What else?
I guess this links nicely to your local. What's going on over there, Matt?
Well, nothing. I mean, at the minute, fuck all. I think it's still shut. It's not my local either anymore. I mean, it never was my local.
You wish your old one that you frequented and got banned from at least 3 times.
No, mate, the Trams hasn't banned anyone ever.
I swear you got banned from there at least once. You've been barred. You've definitely been barred.
I don't know if... I mean, I don't recall it, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. That means it definitely probably happened.
Yeah, I mean, like these...
I'm sure I've been barred from a few places and don't remember it.
These two things are not mutually exclusive, but no. So when Ashley came to visit me first time he came down to Yarmouth, we went to a pub round the ways from my old family home called the Tramways. Great pub.
Great pub.
Had a really good. So it was actually one thing I will rep it on. Long before Spotify or streaming or any of that, it was the first pub I ever went in that had a jukebox that you could cue tracks off the internet. So it wasn't CDs in the box. It was like you could just get a track off online and listen to it in the pub, which is now standard. You know the touchscreen jukeboxes?
Yeah, revolutionary stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, but
the 5 Bells had it.
Oh, they did. The Bells did have one. It was in the game.
They had like a niche. They had like a niche selection at the Bells though. It's only like Irish folk songs and like anything pre 1990 that was a pop hit.
Yeah, I feel like they'd put some sort of restrictor on that because that definitely isn't all of the music on the internet.
Exactly.
But somehow
But they seem to have managed to do that.
Somehow their digital jukebox had a limit to what it could find. But this one didn't. You could I literally put I actually genuinely put shit like Pastor Troy on in there because it was the crunk era.
Did you throw it up?
Of course I did. I've probably thrown up in every pub I've been barred in. But yeah, so for me it was a revolution because I could chuck. It was 5 tracks for £1. So for £1 I could listen to 2% of Busta Rhymes' new album or 30% of a normal album. And this was the other classic. This was textbook. So the landlord was this icon called Darren. He was a great man. He did nothing but run the tramways badly and play golf badly. But he used to they had an A-frame at the front. Guinness was $1.99, which was like their bargain. So
Wait, what do you call it? An A-frame?
A-frame, because it's shaped like an A. The signs...
Why have I always known it to be called a sandwich board?
Same thing. No, so sandwich boards are what you wear with the shoulder straps, and an A-frame is a freestanding version of the same thing. So if you wear it, if you wear it, it's a sandwich board. If it's stood up, it's an A-frame.
Oh, right. Interesting.
Basically, sandwich boards have a rope handle or something to wear, and an A-frame just has a hinge.
like what Bruce Willis wore
In-
in Die Hard 3,
Yeah,
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Anyway, as you were.
Fun fact, Die Hard 3 originally wasn't a Die Hard film.
What was it?
It was an action film called Simon Says. Because his brother's called Simon, the bad guy, and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Simon Says. So it was called Simon Says, and they cast Willis. And then it was
then
like,
they just like-
well, it was like looking like no one was particularly, and then they were like, why don't we just make him John McClane, and now it's Die Hard 3, and everyone was like, oh yeah, that will sell 3 times as much. Yeah, good show. And still felt like a Die Hard film. You know,
did.
It worked as a Die Hard picture. I quite like that one, actually. I think it's a good
Me
film.
too, better than Lethal Weapon 4.
It's better than Lethal Weapon 4, and it's probably better than Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
As much as I love William Sadler doing Kung Fu naked in a travel lodge, Die Hard 2 is not a great film. Although actually, as well as William Sadler naked doing Kung Fu in a travel lodge, Die Hard 2 has a line which I think is genius, and I honestly didn't get it until a couple of years ago when I rewatched it, and I was like, that's a pun that I didn't even notice. So at the beginning, you know when he gets to the airport and he faxes Al from the first film?
Yeah.
Like Al sent, so he goes up to the woman at the desk and he's like, I need the number. He holds up his badge. He goes, I'd need the number for your fax machine, because he's got a fax out. And the woman on the desk goes, would you like my number as well, officer? And he goes, just the fax, ma'am. And that's a great pun. That's really fucking subtle. I didn't pick up on that when I watched it as a kid. And then there's another, I was like, that's a joke that I've never seen in there. And I really appreciate it. It's like they didn't need to bother writing that, and they did, and it's good.
It's very good. Very good of them. I feel like it's like watching those sort of Disney films or even the Simpsons episodes and like rewatching them when you're a bit older.
Oh,
And you
there's
just find,
so
you find
much
new
in there,
jokes
isn't
that
there?
you never knew were there the entire time.
Well, Charlotte and I recently watched the O.J. Simpson documentary on Storyville on BBC, which if you haven't seen it, O.J. Simpson Made in America. It's a brilliant documentary.
I have seen it. I had seen it.
kind
when
of-
it first aired, I think.
It frames the Simpson trial against like the LA riots and the civil rights movement and everything else that was happening prior to his fame and around his fame. And it's a brilliant documentary, but Charlotte had never seen Naked Gun. And I was saying, whilst we were watching it, I was like, I can't not see Nordberg, the comedy character, when I'm looking at OJ in the court. And she hadn't seen it. And we went back and rewatched Naked Gun 1, 2, and 3. And even to this day, I must have watched Naked Gun 1, like literally hundreds of times by this point. And I still catch jokes that I haven't seen before in it, because there's just so much stuff layered in.
Yeah.
I mean, OJ's scum, and it's unfortunate he's in it. But it's still one of the greatest comedies ever, and I still literally spot stuff in it now that I didn't see when I was 10, 15. Like every time I go back, I've learnt more stuff, and there's another joke that I get the reference of. Fantastic.
Happens though.
Absolute
happens.
treat.
We were talking about the tramways though.
Oh, yeah. So, whatever, man. We segued nicely. So, back to the tramway. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got there from the A-frame and the sandwich board. So, the end of that very, very niche anecdote was Darren used to have a frame at the front saying Guinness 199. And me and my mate Richard Ruddock, who I watched the NFL with, shout out Papa Rich, great man.
He's no nil.
He's not the racer. Although he might drive a panel van if you let him. He'd probably love to bum around in a white panel van. But we used to go down there and we'd get a 199 pint of Guinness. And in classic Tramways fashion, if you gave Darren £2 for a 199 Guinness, you just didn't get any change. And there was no discussion on that. You just didn't get it was £2 a pint basically, but it was advertised at 199. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, there was a point where the owner of the Tramways' wife and daughter were found on a local prostitution site. And he was basically operating them out of the upstairs of the pub to bankroll the fact the pub was falling apart.
God.
And we got to this because someone got done for setting the pub on fire. They lit fire to the bin in the toilets recently. And I sent this to you, and you were like, didn't we play darts there? And I was like, yeah, it took like 48 hours.
We did. We were in that pub for about a day and a half. We watched 7 games of football, I feel.
We were in there. Charlotte
and
did a
darts were
whole
being in
day of
front.
Christmas shopping, and we literally just sat in there failing to play at darts.
We went to the supermarket, bought like loads of beers from that supermarket, then drank more beer in that pub than we had in our bag.
Well, that's because I
Gave
didn't.
shot at the bag of beer, then we went home and drank that bag of beer. But within that time, Jason came over,
Yes, he did.
and I've not met Jason before.
Great man.
And then he picked the darts up.
One of
and,
my best
He sat in the
friends.
chair and looked like he was going to throw darts at the board, and just turned to me and just starts throwing them at my crotch. I'm like, Jason, the fuck are you doing? You
Great man.
fucking animal.
Absolute legend. Also voted Brexit just to wind me up. Which, as much as I wish he hadn't, I can't be mad at that because that's really funny. And it really wound me up. It hugely wound me up, funnily enough.
God.
So yeah, that was that.
But it's good to hear that the tramways are still going though.
And
Or is it going? I mean, will it survive this?
well, the thing is, in a weird way, the tramways is so shit that it can't not survive. Like, there's no economic crisis the tramways can't undercut price-wise. Like, every time it's shut, it's reopened with some random thing at the helm. Like, I went in after it shut and Darren disappeared and the tramways we knew went. They refurbed it, and I went in, and there was, like, a kid stood at the bar. And I was like, all right. And they were like, hiya. And they were like, what do you want?
No.
And I was like, a drink? And they were like, all right, what do you want? I went, well, can I have a Guinness? And they went, nah, it's off. I was like, good. I was like, well, can I have a whatever? And basically all the drinks were off. And then I was like, this kid was literally like 14. I was like, can you legally serve me? And they were like, no, mum's just having a smoke. And I was like,
sounds like GY.
yeah, I was like, I get that, but I'm still not sure that makes it legal. Just because she needed to nip out for a smoke. And they was like, do you want to wait till she gets back? I was like, not really, no. And then I was like, then they were like, what do you want then? And I was like, well, what have you got? And they were like, it was literally like a Foster's and a Carling. It was something terrible.
God, it's
No.
like being at a tuck shop at 11 a.m.
I ended up getting a bottle of Rolling Rock from the fridge.
What
No, not Rolling. Sorry,
flying-
no, not Rolling Rock.
the flying fuck is Rolling Rock?
Do you not remember Rolling Rock?
No.
It was a beer that went bust around the time that Alka-Pops became a thing.
Are you thinking of Northern Rock?
No, that's a
bank that
bank.
went
No,
bust.
no, they went bust too. No, there was a US beer called Rolling Rock, and their strapline was like "Rock on a Roll," which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But no, they went bust, but they still had Rolling Rock in the fridge, literally years after they went down the pan, and I was like, I don't know
God.
about that. But yeah, they just had a 14-year-old selling pints, which is totally illegal.
Someone was trying to describe to me the other day this like properly kind of, you know, bigging it up like this amazing creamy beer, like not a UK beer. I know where you're gonna go, and you know where and you know exactly where I went as well. They were talking
we
about this
both went to the same shithole.
They were talking about this Czech beer that's like so good. It's like it's nothing they've ever had before. It's like
It's Boddington's
so
Czech.
frothy, and then I was like, "You're describing a Boddington's."
It's Worthington's Cream Flow Czech.
But then, shout out the great man Mitch.
Was it Mitch? Yeah.
No, he weren't Mitch. He weren't Mitch. But shout out Mitch.
Well, shout out Mitch anyway. Yeah, Mitch is a
he
G,
works
Love
at he works at Weatherspoons, and the one that he works in, the people never called it John Smith's because John Smith's is also a smooth, creamy beer apparently, and people would just said, "Pint of the smooth, please, Doc."
That's worse than a pint of the numbers. At least Cronenberg actually has numbers on the tap. John Smith's isn't smooth. What? Jesus. See, that's back to those, you know, those beers that you just won't touch, like Foster's.
Yeah, John Smith is one.
John Smith's is like the beer that I wouldn't even put in a pie. You know when you stew steak for a pie and ale? I wouldn't even put Smith's in a fucking pie, man. Absolute no. None of it.
God.
Right, what should
How
we
we got into this mess?
what should we put on to get out of this? Seeing as we're on Smith, should we put on Elliott Smith? I love Elliott Smith.
Yeah, go for it, man. I need a Waz. So
Righto. I'll put on some Elliott Smith. You,
I'll sit with you until you get it on. And then
mate,
I'll,
there's a
disappear.
niche link.
Go on.
I'll put on some Smiths. You hit the John.
Clever.
How about that?
Clever. I like what you did there.
That might be our best segue yet.
Do we want to hear the Smiths? No, we'll do it.
No, not the Smiths. No, not the Smiths. We'll put Elliott Smith on.
Good. I don't need the Smiths.
Nah, he needs to. That needs to be dropped out.
I feel bad for the rest of the Smiths because of Morrissey.
Yeah, same. Because I love the Smiths, but
Much like I don't feel bad for the rest of you two, but I kind of feel bad for the rest of you two,
I
other
don't
than the
know.
Edge.
I don't feel bad for any of them. They're all there.
True.
They're all fucking.
They knew it was happening.
They're all part of it.
None of them left.
All right, so
They're all enablers.
here's Elliott Smith with "Angel in the Snow."
All right, back in. Oh, this is a short song. Okay, challenge accepted.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, exactly. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. Shit. Sorry, everyone. In a drunken state, I skipped that with me finger. Fucking touchscreens. Oh, well, at least Ashley's got slightly longer for a Waz now.
I'd say you make a perfect angel in the snow, all crushed out on the way you are. Better stop before it goes too far. Don't you know that I love you? Sometimes I feel like only a cold, still light that fell down here to lay beside you. Don't you know that I love you? Sometimes I feel like only a cold, still light, only a frozen still light that fell down here to lay beside you.
Oh,
It's Elliott Smith with "Angel in the Snow." Taken from a compilation of stuff made after he died called New Moon, which is really underrated. It's got loads of nice little bits on, a lot of which I'd not heard before. But right then, we're coming to the end. What's left on the cards, Ashley?
I feel like we've got two subjects on the cards, to be honest. I don't know if we're at the end just yet. Hang on.
We've been here hours. I'm fucking
Video
smashed.
calling someone.
Don't do that either. Yeah, you're at the end when you're accidentally starting new shows.
We have two topics.
What are they?
We're gonna pick. We're gonna pick one of them and go with it. Or we're gonna pick two of them and go with it. One of them links somewhat to something that we talked about a moment ago.
Damn it, because there's one I really want to talk about, but I don't know if it links to anything we've talked about. Let me look.
Is that one that's not on the list?
I don't know because I can't find the list. I've forgotten where I left it.
And I know what these things are. Should I just say what they are?
Well, no, because that'll spoil the surprise for the.
For you, by the sounds of it.
Oh yeah. Should we sack off Instagram and talk about Dolph Lundgren?
Yeah.
Oi. So segue
Big Dolph
neatly.
energy.
Somehow Ashley and I got to talking about Dolph Lundgren trying to buy into Planet Hollywood, which he never did.
I thought he did.
No, I thought he did too, but he didn't. Turns out he was like I said though. Actually, that's what it was. Die Hard 3, Sandwich Boards, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was a co-owner of Planet Hollywood. Dolph Lundgren didn't try and buy into Planet Hollywood. Here we are at our final topic of the day. Dolph Lundgren.
Energy.
Big Dolph energy. The Miami Dolphin.
Looking at the recent news, Dolph Lundgren, 62, and fiancée Emma Crocodile, 24, share a kiss.
24?
Share a kiss during a lunch date in Malibu.
Jesus. I mean, Dolph's... He's worse than Des O'Connor.
Sloane Schwarzenegger and... Well, what's this? No, that's a sign that doesn't work.
That's obviously a link. That's obviously a link to the an Expendables promo piece.
Possibly. Either way, Big Dolph is still about. Expendables 4, a glimpse of the latest developments in 2020. Oh, it's happening.
How is this still rolling?
It's going to happen.
Because people like me keep watching Expendables 3 on Netflix, probably.
Yes.
But
yes.
Great man.
I was talking about Universal Soldier yesterday.
I forgot he runs that. Yeah,
Mate,
he is in there,
him and is Van Damme as well, isn't it? Him and Van Damme.
I forgot. That's actually quite a good film. That's not a bad... What's even better is, though...
Go on.
Well, obviously, Dolph Lundgren's first ever film appearance was A View to a Kill. Which, of course, is the film in which Roger Moore breaks into a woman's house and makes a quiche, which we covered on our last Burning Chat.
I made a quiche.
Mate, we've literally we've not even segued between topics. We've segued between shows, brother.
I've made a quiche.
Can you center a camera? You seem to be drifting off to the side there.
Sorry, I'm having a laughing fit.
I'm having a mild stroke and just disappearing
I
off
might
the
just
edge.
turn my camera off centre.
Yeah, put it over there and you can lean all fucking day, mate. Yeah, there you go. Now you're still well within the remit. But yeah, I mean, Dolphy's an interesting guy because he doesn't make many good films, if any. But like, he had a degree in chemical engineering, and he then went on to study and got a master's in chemical engineering. So he is like basically a rocket scientist in the old-fashioned sense of the term. Yeah. He then bumped into Grace Jones in Sydney, which is where he was studying, I think. And she convinced him to like come. They started dating, and he became her bodyguard. And that was when. So she was like, "Yeah, fuck uni. Don't be a fucking student, you noob. Come New York with me and be my bodyguard / model." So he started modeling and bodyguarding in New York, and I think he bodyguarded some clubs as well. Because Jones was like, "Yeah, sack it, let's go." So she got him like in the New York scene when obviously she was literally. This is the point where she's riding into Studio 54 naked on a horse.
Yeah.
What a fucking woman. Honestly, what an absolute champ. But yeah, so after a bit of bodyguarding and modelling, she was like, "I've got you this job in a film where a spy makes a quiche." Which I'm pretty sure is what the blurb was, you know, to get everyone on board. It's like, show them the hit.
It'll get me on board. It will get me
That's
on board.
That's what I'm saying. Show them the hits. We've all had a few drinks. You're a little bit over the hill. We get a quiche on.
I made a quiche.
I'm in. I'm fully in. About it every time. But yeah, so he then, off the back of that, having made a quiche in A View to a Kill, became...
Mate, he just got in everything.
Well, he became Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. That was the start.
Yeah.
Absolute, if he dies, he dies. Classic line.
Wait, is Rocky IV the one with his son and the robot? Or is that Rocky III?
I think that's Rocky V.
5, yeah, that was a bad one.
That's the one where he has a street fight with Tommy Gunn at the end. He
Maybe,
trained.
probably, yeah.
Basically, Rocky 5 is like a shit 80s version of Rocky Balboa. He trains up his protege, and it's about him being over the hill, and he ends
His
up sort of-
protege had a earring with a loop and a crucifix and a feather.
His protege looked like if Patrick Swayze ran a fish and chip shop in Hackney.
His protege looked like Adam Ant.
No, he was a blonde mulleted guy.
No, he wasn't a blonde mulleted guy. It was
He
his
was.
son. It was his son.
Oh no, his son looked like Adam Ant. But his protege, the guy he trained as a boxer,
in Balboa?
No, in Rocky 5. So his son, the whole point is he ignores his son and loves
That's
Tommy
it, yeah,
Gunn
yeah.
because
No, I
Tommy
remember,
Gunn's a street fighting boxer. But Tommy Gunn literally looks like if you fed Patrick Swayze nothing but pucker pies and he ran a chippy on like the East End.
I was going to ask. So, Tommy Gunn, do you think like they made Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler look like Tommy Gunn?
No.
Or do you think Mickey Rourke just looked like that?
I mean, he looked more like Timmy Mallet. By the time he got to The Wrestler, he looked like some weird plasticine children's thing. Like...
But no, Stretch Armstrong.
So interestingly, after Mickey Rourke became like the breakout star of the early 90s, after doing like, I think it's Wild at Heart and stuff like that, and Rumblefish, the Ford Coppola film, Rourke genuinely dropped out of acting and went and became a boxer. And he was a shit boxer, and his face got fucked up because he got punched so much because he was not very good. And then he had loads of surgery because his face was fucked. And then he came back into acting.
Tried to get back into acting, yeah.
Well, he didn't try. He did really well. He came
Yeah.
back and did The Wrestler and got an Oscar. And then obviously Stallone cast him in all the Expendables and that. And he became a bit of a thing again.
All right.
But
See, I've not seen the Expendables films. Like, I've tried to watch one of them. I just gave up.
I'm a little upset at that because they
I
are.
don't give a shit, man.
They're the sort of shit we fall asleep to after 15 minutes.
That's probably what happened, to be honest.
I mean, I'm not sure I've ever seen a whole one.
I've probably watched the opening 15 minutes to all of them.
I've definitely tried to watch all three at least twice. One of my proudest / lowest moments. I was visiting my partner when she was at the Edinburgh Fringe. Sorry, she was studying in Glasgow, but she was performing at the Edinburgh Fringe. And I got off the train. Obviously, I'd been drinking all the way from the AEI offices in East London.
Hey.
And I got there and I just literally was like, oh yeah, the Fringe, yeah. And I got out, just saw all the student-y wankers that go to the Fringe. And I bought 8 tins of Tennants and I went straight to the cinema and I paid £8 to watch Expendables 3.
God.
So the whole of the Edinburgh Fringe was taking place over there. And I sat there and watched Expendables 3. And then when that finished, I thought, I really don't want to go to the Fringe. So I went back to the desk. I went, what else is on? And the only other film on was 12 Years a Slave. So I got battered and I watched Expendables 3 and 12 Years a Slave back to back. And I love both of
Don't
them.
regret it.
Well, no, but
For very different reasons.
I don't want to big myself up, but I was like, I think that's what makes me who I am. Like, I can go and watch 12 Years a Slave and find it wonderfully moving, other than that god-awful last half hour, which should be banned from cinema. That's ridiculous. That white saviour shit with Brad Pitt painting a fence, that needs to die.
I've not actually seen it.
Do you mind if I spoiler you?
No, I'm not going to see it.
Right, so basically, 12 Years a Slave is
I do love Treader Edgefer, but I don't need a...
We're getting cancelled. But yeah, it's a beautiful and harrowing film, and it's just like there's so much in it, and it's so well done. And then in the last like 20 minutes, he's like running around because he's basically a really talented violinist that's been made a slave, but he was kind of middle class before it happened, which is the interesting, and it's a true story. But at the end, he's like pottering about like, oh God, I'm such a slave and I'm so oppressed. And then Brad Pitt's like sanding the roof of a shed as a white guy with long flowing gold locks. And he's like, what's that? You're a slave? I'll get you free. And he like writes a note to someone and they're like, oh, Brad Pitt said to let you go. Oh, off you pop then. And that's basically how the film unravels. And even if that's how it really went down, I don't actually know the context of the end of the story in real terms.
It sounds like there should be more to it than that.
And I feel like Brad Pitt shouldn't be playing that role.
Possibly not.
And
no.
when Brad Pitt is the key executive producer, it just makes that a little bit dodgier. And then I'm like, yeah, it's kind of you swinging your weight around and being like, I need to be the ultimate good guy. And it's literally like, I don't recall it that well because I'd 8 cans of Tennants and watched Expendables 3. So like, my IQ was probably less than single digits.
So basically, Chiwetel Ejiofor starts swinging from a one building to another, saving the day in Expendables 4.
I mean, essentially, as soon as he came on screen, I was so drunk I went Hugh Quashi, my Holby City guy. But basically, at the end, there's like a slow motion shot of Brad Pitt like flicking his hair in 200 frames a second. And then he's like, "I'll free you, oppressed peoples." And I was like, that's really spoilt the whole thing for me because it was interesting and moving up until this point, and now executive producer Brad Pitt's had to have his 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's less fun.
How did we get here from Lundgren? Oh, the Expendables, probably. Fuck those.
Anyway, the other part of the Lundgren topic was Planet Hollywood.
Oh yeah, you tried
to explain like a lot about Planet Hollywood to me. I've never been, and I don't really care for it.
I don't think
I just like the car hanging out the side of it. That's the only thing I enjoy about Planet Hollywood.
So essentially, for those not in the know, which will be most of you if you're younger than us, or maybe older than us, it was like there was a window of about 2 years where it had relevance. Planet Hollywood was a chain of restaurants that had like Hollywood memorabilia in them and played like songs from Hollywood films.
It was like a less successful Hard Rock Cafe.
Yes, it was exactly that. That's literally what they were trying to clone. And the owners were Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And like they used to get, basically whenever they opened one, they'd get their Hollywood mates to come and open it and dine there on the first night. So like Jackie Chan was involved, all these people. And you thought Lundgren was involved, and as far as I'm aware, Lundgren had no say in Planet Hollywood. But
that's a shame.
Nonetheless,
Lundgren performed at a Eurovision Song Contest like 10 years ago, and he was great.
You said about this. Song. I didn't know about this. So was he?
What one was it? It was.
Was he performing? He's Swedish, isn't he?
Yeah.
So was he performing as Sweden's entry or as a celebrity?
No, he was just a celebrity tag along.
What a fucking ledge! So what did he sing?
He sang. Hold on. He sang A Little Less Conversation.
Jesus.
By Elvis.
I mean, he's got very slurred speech, so that kind of works.
But he actually sounds quite good from memory.
Yeah, and we know we can't trust those.
I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you. I've never watched Eurovision sober. I watch it all the time.
I've never watched the Expendables sober, so there's a parallel there.
But I watch. So they're both awful. But we enjoy them because we enjoy alcohol.
we enjoyed them because we have dependency issues and mild memory loss as a direct result.
What is that Dolph Lundgren from the? Oh, I like him. Oh, what's he doing in this? Oh, he's doing that Eurovision. Oh, I like Eurovision. That's very good.
Is that Dolph from 12 Years of Lundgren? Oh, I like that. That's lovely. At the end, where he gets all white and that, and they let him go home because he can sing Elvis. Yeah, that's lovely. They
got that Chiwetel Ejiofor on Eurovision. Oh, that's bloody well good. That. Oh, love that.
Have you seen that chin strap Ecuador in the song contest? Have you seen him? He's right good. He sounds just like Dolph Lundgren. Mate, if we ever get booked for a DJ set, we should be chin strap Ecuador.
Back to that Dolph Lundgren.
Chin strap Ecuador, back to back Dolph Lunchham.
Dolph Lunchable.
Dolphy Lee Lunchable.
One thing that
what were we
upsets
talking
me
about?
I don't know, but we're going for it. One thing that upsets me about Chiwetel Ejiofor's career.
Who?
Chiwetel Ejiofor from 12 Years of Lundgren. Was
12 donks a rave.
thing that upsets me is in Love Actually, which is a horrible film.
It's a weird one. Oh yeah, he gets his fucking boyfriend, his girlfriend nicked by fucking
So
Walking Dead.
his wife gets stolen from him by his best friend.
Yeah, and he's the miserable
The
twat
worst
from
part
Walking
about
Dead.
it, but the worst part is that Chiwetel has like 2 words in the entire film.
Yeah, and they kind of like, I'm glad we got on this because I fucking hate that film and I really hate that narrative because like.
Because we're not meant to be on Chiwetel's side on this. It's
Well,
like,
no,
why aren't we on his side?
The justification for you being on the side of creepy as fuck Andrew Lincoln, who films Keira Knightley outside her home without her permission, then turns up with carol boards, is like when they're getting married, he's really concerned and like, is everything okay? Are you all right? And the justification for we don't like him is he's really fussy and looks after her. And I'm like, well, that's kind of decent stuff.
Whatever, man. It's kind of normal, isn't it?
I feel like that's the best way to treat your fiancée. As opposed to Andrew Lincoln, who's trying to finger his best mate's girlfriend and turns up outside her house with signs saying, I watch you at night. Like...
Fucking... Thomas Bates. Fucking...
And that's Burning Chat, episode 6, everyone.
One night. Shall we end? You said some stuff about Donk. Do you want to hear Mitch's newest song?
Is it Donk?
It's Donk.
Can you get it on the stream so we can actually hear it?
I don't know if I can do it on my side.
Well, if not, is it on Spotty?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Type in Don A. Soldier.
Oh, wait, are we allowed to say that that's him?
Mitch is the manager. Don A. Soldier is the artist.
I'll just bleep it. It's too difficult otherwise.
We can say it's him. It's fine.
All right, cool.
We want to go for Amber Leaf. It's very good.
20. Goodbye, Amber Leaf Yellow.
Yes.
All right. So to see us out, thanks for listening. It's been Burning Chat episode 6.
Well,
Ash,
yeah.
I feel we've cooked it up. I feel we've covered the...
I'm pretty cooked.
I'm cooked as
I
fuck.
feel we've cooked the books.
I feel we've definitely cooked the books. I'm paying less tax than dead Sean Connery.
I'm paying less because that's than Phil Collins.
Here's Don A. Soldier with Goodbye Amber Leaf Yellow.
Way.
Lads.
Yellow, goodbye tonight. We literally miss you every day, man. I quit smoking, it was the worst day of my life. Amber leaf yellow, burning so bright. Get it out the packet, as wet as the kitchen sink. 2 minutes later, it's like my girlfriend's fringe. It's dry in my eye. But it's never dry when I think about amber leaf up there in the sky. Yellow packet there in the sky. Yellow packet there in the sky. You're in heaven now, amber leaf heaven now. Who's gonna drive you home? You know that I think about you every day. Think about you every day, especially tonight. Used to think the future would be like Star Trek, and now I say goodbye to my dear friend the 10 decking. Used to get the backy for £2.50. I was so in love, such an SIMP. Boy, I've never felt so empty. I head in the DeLorean with Doc and Marty. Catch me chatting breeze at the after party. Got more lighters than when I started. You're in heaven now, I believe heaven now. Who's gonna drive you home? You know that I think about you every day. Think about you every day, especially tonight. You changed the laws, unsettled scores. Riddlers and filters spilling out my drawers. Here on the porch, lit like a torch. I'm a Don A. Soldier with my yellow amber leaf in the drawer. Top drawer, always in the top drawer. Don't smoke drum, might smoke gold in Virginia, but always smoke amber leaf yellow. Amber leaf yellow, let me hear you say, you're in heaven now, amber leaf heaven now. You're in heaven now, amber leaf heaven now. You know that I think about you every day. Think about you every day, every single day. Every single day. You're in heaven now, amber leaf heaven now. You're in heaven now, amber leaf heaven now. You're in heaven
Air horn.
This is an air horn anthem. I honestly don't think there's anything we can't segue out of. I feel like we've just got the skill set.
Like Jimmy White being snookered.
Did you see what's his name the other day? Alex Higgins.
Steve Higgins.
Is Alex Higgins the drunk snooker maverick who still plays?
I have no idea.
The Irish snooker.
I don't watch snooker anymore.
We need to ring the Grinnell.
Steve Higgins is the man.
I don't know.
He's the one who's won more than anyone ever.
Maybe it was him. Basically, he was losing to someone who's not as good as him, and he went over and threatened them for wriggling in their seat too much. He was like, just stop. I know what you're doing. And the ref came in and was like, come on guys. And then he just went to the other one and went, I know you didn't do anything, but just leave it, yeah?
We've all had a few.
Yeah, exactly, we've all had a few. Exactly that. Anyway, it's been Burning Chat. Thanks, mate. Lovely show.
Oh, I've had a lovely time.
This is a great sign
out. The question now is, who is going to drive you home tonight?
Well, I only have the one room.
I mean, I'm already in the bedroom, mate.
Exactly. So, at worst, I've got to get to the oven and turn the chicken off. So
you got to look after that.
All the best, mate.
You listen to Magic FM.
This is Magic FM with Matthew and Ashley.
No, we are lying. You are listening to the morning show on Threads Radio. Shout out Threads Gang each and every.
Oh, mate,
also shout out Magic FM.
This is 2.5 hours in. Threads ain't getting this bit. We'll have to chop the middle out. You're listening to Purple City.
Thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home
I'm off. I nearly filleted a mic.
tonight?
I feel like Val Venus in my bathrobe.
Speaking of Lethal Weapon 4, where's the saxophone solo?
Who's gonna hold it down?
That's redlined the mic.
Jesus. Who's going to hold you down? Fucking hell.
Oh, mate, I mean... See you next time.
Who's gonna come around?
I don't need to know who's going to hold you down. I'm off. Good night.
Can't go on.
Shout out, Phil.
Nothing's wrong.